Get your films on with the Blurs.
Once an idea has taken hold of the brain, it's almost impossible to eradicate.
Unpacking movies has never been more spot on, woke, fire, and just plain lit.
They are lit all the time.
So if you're unsure whether or not to plop down some cash for a film, check out the Blurs.
When a man with a 45 meets a man with a rifle, the man with a pistol is a dead man.
Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolytes.
You really only need to hang mean bastards. But mean bastards, you need to hang.
Don't say you weren't warned. Ridiculous. Here's Brandon and Jeff.
Hey, yo, and welcome to episode 131 of The Film Blurs. I'm your host, Jeff Stewart, a.k.a. Uncle Jeffrey, a.k.a. J. Otis Dynamite, a.k.a. Praetorian Jeff, a.k.a. Benjamin Button, a.k.a. He Who Remains, Petty Ruxpin, Jobu Tupaki, Little Tom, this motherfucker, To Be Determined, Chocolate Tarantino, Ebony Spielberg, and Black Giovanni Ribisi. And I'm joined here, as always, with my friend and co-host.
What's up, y'all? My name's Brandon Nord, a.k.a. Protagonist. Tenet just turned 4 years old. What is time? A.k.a. the true father of Joe, Kanye, and Drake's kids. Them fucking support checks are cashing, baby. I'm supposed to be buying these kids clothes. I'm buying myself a new Ferrari.
Wait, you got Drake's kids too? Oh,
Yo,
man.
Drake's...
Like,
Listen... Any famous person, when their kids are being treated bad, they come live with me, and then I start getting them child support checks. And even though I don't use it on them kids are happier.
You are the Black Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Hell yeah. I'm like Batman. I adopt little niggas and just let them niggas run to their own devices.
Train them to be assassins?
Nah. That's yo. That's something I want to talk to you offline about. AKA Papi Chulo, AKA the Glizzy King. Hey, sidebar, Jeff, you know fucking Shake Shack has good glizzies?
Do they?
Yeah, their glizzies are good.
I don't know. I was talking the other day. I'm not impressed by Shake Shack.
Nah, their summer barbecue burgers are the best burgers they've ever made. Like, get them shits before the weekend's over.
All right, yeah, all right. I'll take your word for it because you are the burger connoisseur.
Mm-hmm. AKA the Zootic God, AKA Mr. Krusty. I'm gonna retire just like Steve. Animal crackers have ruined my life. They're in my bloodstream and my throat now. AKA the Lethal Protector, a.k.a. It's Morbin time, a.k.a. Ezekiel Sims. No ADR matches my mouth. Another sidebar. I hope KRAVEN the Hunter gives me another a.k.a.
Oh, it 100% will, man. I saw that second trailer. I'm like, what the fuck?
All right, so you're going to have to talk about that in trailer talk.
I mean, it was so long ago, I can't remember. All I remember watching is like, Oh, word? Sure.
This movie's been delayed twice to do more reshoots. And now this motherfucker thinks they're going to make money at Christmas. I was like, bro, you opening against The Lion King and fucking Sonic 3.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Adults going to the movies who want to see a R-rated violent movie, Nosferatu's right there.
Right, like no one is fanboying KRAVEN the Hunter, right? We're not gonna be at a screening and see a motherfucker wearing a fucking leopard skin fucking jacket.
I mean, goddamn, we couldn't save him for like he's one of Spider-Man's most dangerous villains, has one of the most iconic storylines. We couldn't save this nigga for like Spider-Man 4 or 5 or 6, something.
No, man, because they got to get it all. They got to get it all out there. There's like it's Sony treats all of these Spider-Man characters like premature ejaculations. They just can't get it out as fast as I can.
Oh Oh, you know what? Craven the Hunter, I'm gonna have to do a Russian African accent, like a combination of Afrikaans and Russian.
Oh, that's gonna be the most fucked up thing. I can't wait for that.
Be
I
like
cannot wait.
be like my man Paul Giamatti in Amazing Spider-Man 2. I'm Alexei Provich. Man, that performance is much better than most of the shit we get now. I was like, yo, at least they were doing something. They were doing something.
At least they cared a little bit back in the day.
Yeah, yeah. AKA, my biggest pet peeve is sports because I don't like seeing grown men sweat on each other. AKA, I want a Subaru Outback with mad strippers in the back giving shape ups. AKA, Rough McGruff. AKA, D's nuts. And AKA, B Wood the Magnificent. All right, let's get right into it. We'll cover news some other time. I mean, I guess we could talk about D23 real quick. That happened a month ago.
Did we talk about it last time?
We talked about Comic-Con. We gave a whole ass episode to Comic-Con.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about D23 and Monster Trucks, the fucking movie. Monster Jam.
The one thing that I was excited about that came out of fucking D23 was that 9 Inch Nails are doing the score for Tron. And I was just like, oh, that's perfect because after Challengers could have been a Daft Punk's fucking score. So the fact that now that Daft Punk's retired because these motherfuckers fucked around for so long and waited this long to do another sequel, 9 Inch Nails, and it's going to be the first time Trent and Atticus are going to create a film score under 9 Inch Nails instead of, Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross.
And I am here for it. When I saw that announcement, I was like, I'm 100% in because even though I didn't like Legacy, or that's what it was called, the second one.
Yep, Legacy.
Even though I didn't fuck with the movie, I didn't hate it, but that soundtrack hit.
You don't fuck with you don't fuck with Tron Legacy?
I have to go back and watch it again. All I know is the hype behind it did not live up to my expectations. Like there was some cool shit in it. There really was, but it wasn't like, oh, this is the best fucking thing.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that. Like I like the movie and I like it a lot, but I also realize like it's just a fine, decent, good movie. You know what I mean? Like it's good entertainment.
Yeah. So like I am a huge 9 Inch Nails fan.
Hell yeah.
From the day.
Hell yeah.
Like it was either 9 Inch Nails or A Perfect Circle on heavy rotation in my mid-20s. So I'm here for it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, like that's it. So like the ticket is purchased for me just for the score alone, and we'll see. Like,
I mean, they gotta match the last one because the last one was IMAX 3D, and there's like 40 minutes of that motherfucker that not only is it in 3D, but it's also an IMAX aspect ratio. Like that shit's hard as fuck. So like, yo, y'all can't not do IMAX aspect ratio or 3D for this one. Like y'all got to put it in both now again.
Yeah, I mean this movie is going to be experiential, right? Like the 3D, the IMAX, and the music, it's going to be like the cinematic version of going to a planetarium.
Hell yeah. Also off the top of my head, the only things other in D23 that got me hyped was Zootopia 2's finally coming in 2026, and I was just like, it should not have taken this long to get a sequel to this motherfucker. That's like the best Disney animated film in the past 20 years. Like, I'm not saying they haven't put out good animated films in that time.
Right.
That's my favorite one in the past 20 years. Like, I remember going to see Zootopia. It was coming out in March, and I was like, yeah. Me and Mike, Rangali, we were both like, yeah. We took it as it is. We're like, all right, let's sit down and watch it. And then when that movie ended, we were like, yo, what the fuck? We're like, they made a noir for kids, and it has like cool set pieces and shit like that, and the characters are well drawn and well written.
I use the Zootopia script in some of my intro to screenwriting classes.
Oh shit!
Yeah. just it's accessible for kids.
Right, because it's Chinatown for kids. Like
Right.
that movie has the plot of fucking Chinatown.
Right, and like Chinatown is arguably considered one of the best screenplays ever.
Right,
So,
right.
when I teach kids, I teach I give them excerpts from Zootopia.
That also seems like a movie that would be. I mean, I don't know why it took them so long, because that also I think is one of their most expensive movies, just because of how expansive it is. Like, when they go through the cities and all the characters, they have to animate in the backgrounds and shit. Like, there's like a million characters at a time in frames when they're moving through Zootopia. But so, I mean, that's why to me it's also, that's like the only one where I'm impressed by the world. Like, sorry, Frozen. Like, I know niggas love that shit. Be prepared for Frozen 3 and 4 in addition to a TV show. But yeah,
Sure.
Zootopia, we took this long to get a fucking second one.
As long as they're not giving us another Elemental, I'm cool.
Toy Story 5, they announced, is going to be about the toys competing with computers and tablets and phones, and I'm just like, I saw the concept art and I was just like, okay, that should have probably been Toy Story 4.
Right.
Toy Story 4 is literally an epilogue, so I don't know if they're gonna pull this off. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all, come on, man. Like, there's no reason for this shit to exist. Like, I saw the concept art, and you see Buzz, Woody, Jesse, and the T-Rex and Mr. Potato Head all peering over the bed as the kid's under a covers with a tablet, and I'm just like, but how did Woody get back there? Woody and Buzz literally say goodbye. Like,
right.
Woody's with Jesse, because he loves Jesse, and then that's literally what Toy Story was about. Was just like, yo, Bo Peep's like, oh, I finally found Bo Peep. He's the love of my life, and Bo Peep's like, Woody, just stay with me instead of trying to make this fucking kid love you. He's like, yo, we get to play with different kids every day, and we'll be together. And he stayed and waved goodbye. There's nothing else. Like, that whole movie was just there to correct the only mistake of Toy Story 3, which was getting rid of Bo Peep.
And like, here's the thing: they're going to run this into the ground.
Yes,
right?
yes.
They're going to run it into the ground, and like, I get the concept of analog toys versus these digital tablets and everything like that.
Right.
But you know what? They did that in American Gods. Right?
Oh,
that was
shit.
pretty much American Gods.
Oh shit.
Old versus new. Like, we don't need that. That story's been told.
I do think that's a good concept, but I just think it's too little too late.
Yeah.
Because come on, man. Like, you're doing this now after your epilogue. Now it just seems like they're pet cemeterying Toy Story 4 is what I'm trying to say. Like,
yeah, it's a cash grab. And then, like, are we going to get another Toy Story every time a new
piece of technology comes
out? Like, is the next one going to be virtual reality, like toys versus virtual reality?
Because really, if we were going to do this, then they should have explored this more in 2, where you see Andy playing the video games. Should have did that shit then.
Yeah, but Disney gonna Disney.
Dog, it is crazy. Like, I remember the last one, fucking Tom Hanks was like, yo, bro, I'm old and it physically pains me to play Woody. Like, it's for me to play Woody, it's like me running on a treadmill for an hour straight. And now that, like, they are just digging this franchise up for him to come back. It's just wild, man.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you want, give us new toys.
Yeah,
do something.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I don't disagree with him, and I understand what he's saying. He's saying Tarantino recently came out. He's like, yeah, I haven't seen Toy Story 4, and I won't see Toy Story 4 just because I thought 3 was a perfect ending. And like, he's like, I know everybody tells me Toy Story 4 is amazing, but I just wanted to have a perfect trilogy. And I'm just like, my man, just look at, everybody's been saying this. I've been saying this. 4 is an epilogue, right? 3's the ending. 4's the epilogue. That's basically what it is. That's why, like, how he feels about 4 is how I feel about 5.
Yeah, like, there's no need. If you want to keep the franchise going, get new toys. Get, like, have like, concentrate on tablets and shit like that, and the new dynamic. Oh yeah, they tried doing that with Wreck-It Ralph.
But isn't that what fucking Disney Plus is for? Like, you could do a whole fucking, like you're saying, with new toys, do a TV show or a Disney Plus movie or something.
Yeah, they could, but they won't, because like they are either quickly or slowly, all of these streaming services are now moving away from being streaming services.
Yes, because now the biggest shows are either getting canceled, like The Acolyte, and like, look, I'm gonna say this right here, right now. My problem with The Acolyte wasn't the acting, it wasn't the directing, it was the story. I thought the first 2 episodes were great, and then the story, the way they chose to tell the story, and then the way we ended up where it ended, that could have been 4 episodes, and we could have moved on to something else to take us to the end of the season, honestly. And that's my problem with it. I don't have a problem with what everybody else has a problem with, which we're not going to get into here. But like, yeah, it's like you said, Jeff. There's certain film critics I talk to. They're like, yeah, before I watch a show, I make sure to get the show gets 2 seasons deep because I'm tired of this shit. And I was like, I don't blame you.
Yeah, pretty fucking much. And it's sad because they used to give shows at least 2 seasons.
Right, and you would think that show would have gotten like another season.
Right?
Like give it a chance, bro. Like
even though I never made it past the first 2 episodes, like you talked about it, you said good things about it. I'm just Star Wars'd out.
I am too, and I think it's not because I'm tired of the property. I'm just tired of the stories not being there. You know what I'm saying? Like this, they tried to do something different. Again, no story was there. And then the other shit is just fan service. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so Andor's coming out. That's what I'm looking forward to. You know?
Right. Avatar 3 finally got their title. They released the title at D24.
Ash and Fire or something like that.
Yeah, Fire and Ash.
Yeah,
something like that. But they showed a concept art of the Ash people, and I'm like, yeah, nigga, let's like, yo, I was like, yo, I feel like Kevin Garnett in fucking Uncut Gems, where it's like Christmas 2025. I'm like, damn, can it be Christmas 2024? I'm like, how can you show me some shit and not give it to me? Yo, because Avatar 2, I still watch that shit. Even on my TV, is still fucking hard.
Yeah, it's like Cameron is the king of sequels, right? And this is totally 100% under his control.
Yeah.
So you know he's going to put his whole entire fucking...
It's not going to be phoned in.
Shit. Yeah.
Like, yo, like, you know... The re-release and what he did for the re-release turned me around on the first movie. And then the second movie, to me, is miles and miles better. So I'm very excited to see what this third movie is going to be. Because I have a feeling, you know, people talk about it like, yo, the third one's better than the second one. And now, like, I'm very excited now to see 4. Because that's the one everybody's like, yeah, 4's wild. Y'all are going to lose your minds. I'm like, all right.
I'm here for it.
Because they're all talking shit. They're like, yeah, I remember when 2 was coming out. They're like, yeah, 3's better than 2. And then 4 is like, yo, like the only one who was saying like, oh, I can't wait for people to see 3 was Zoe Saldana. And everybody's like, yeah, 3's better than 2. But number 4. And I'm like, oh, if these things are going to keep getting better, I already know I'm going to probably see Avatar 3 like 6 times.
I mean, because he's tapping out at 6, right?
He's tapping out at 5.
5? Okay.
And then he's going to go back to Terminator. And then after that, he's going to do like a couple of original joints.
All right, cool. I forgot that that Terminator
anime
dropped.
Yeah, nigga. Yeah. I got that'll be my
check that shit out.
That'll be my add to the list when I get my week of Netflix.
It's fair.
I've heard nothing but good things. And then I guess like wait, go ahead.
I'll do a review on that next week.
All right. The only other thing to come out of D23 is like Brad Bird is finally doing Incredibles 3. And I'm like, thank fucking God.
Yeah. I mean,
the fantastic. I was just like, Marvel, just copy paste these first 2 movies, man. For Fantastic Four. Like that's all you got to do.
I mean, honestly, the family dynamic, the action, the humor that actually works, the stakes. Yeah. Sometimes you can just copy better work, you know?
And I gotta say, man, real quick, even though I like them, like I like Incredibles 2, I like Inside Out 2, I like Finding Dory. As good as they are just like soft remakes of the first one, but with just enough changed and added in, and
Right.
different character arcs, even though the journey's the same. It's different
Um,
just enough where I'm like, I forgive Pixar when they do that because you guys execute it so well.
I actually never saw Finding Dory.
Yeah, look,
Uh,
not again. I enjoyed it. Not better than the
right,
first one. Incredibles 2, love it. Not better than the first one.
right, right.
Inside Out 2, probably one of the two like summer blockbuster seasons basically done. We're transitioning into the fall movie season. And I'll get to that in a little bit, but like, yeah, not better than the first one. Uh the only Pixar sequels that are like come close to the first one are like Toy Story 2 and 3.
I wish we had some news on Encanto too. I'd
Oh
like
yeah,
to see
because they
that.
did announce that and are working on it. They put out a new trailer for Moana 2, and I do like that trailer. I'm like, okay, I hope this is good. I really do.
Yeah.
Like, I'm definitely gonna check it out because I didn't hate the first one. I remember going to the press screening for the first one. I was like, oh yeah, this was fine.
Like I never hate Disney. I just am disappointed by
Right.
Disney. You
Uh
know?
the stuff they own pisses me off, but the stuff they make under the Disney brand
Okay.
is the one where I'm just like, I'm a little more forgiving because y'all seem to be doing different things in your under your house umbrella versus all the shit that you own, right? Y'all play it safe with Marvel, Star Wars. Y'all still give Pixar leeway, but like
Right.
really the only places they seem to be taking any sort of chances is animation under their umbrella.
Yeah, and like I'm just disappointed like by Wish.
Okay, so
Right?
yeah, all right. So I take that back. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
like
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
Wish
Yeah,
was
yeah.
you they had a chance to do something spectacular.
Oh man, look, I'm really hoping Moana 2 is good. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. I mean, like I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. They'll sell all the toys. And the live action's coming soon too, right? So
Yeah, Jesus
like,
Christ.
it's fine. Everything's fine.
So let's
Uh
transition to
wait,
go ahead.
one more piece of news.
Mhm.
Uh Dwayne The Rock Johnson is doing a movie for Disney called Monster Jam.
Oh yeah, that was announced. Yeah, yeah. That I
Yeah.
was just like, are you fucking serious? Like, we could just go to an actual Monster Jam. I was like, didn't y'all
Yes.
not learn your lesson from Monster Trucks? Like, Jeff, you know how that movie got made?
Cocaine?
So the studio head at the time of Paramount was
Mhm.
playing with his son, and his son was playing with these monster truck toys, and he just goes, "Dad, what if the monsters were actually in the trucks and controlling them?" And he's just like, "Greenlit movie, greenlit."
I fucking hate this world. Fucking hate
I
this
watched that
business.
shit on Hulu because that movie, like, are you? Nobody's surprised that movie bricked, but I
Right.
watched it on Hulu, and I'm just like, some of this shit is cool, and some of this shit is awful. Like that is a wild schizophrenic movie because I'm just like, this is bad, but some of this is actually entertaining, but not entertaining enough to elevate anything in that
it
fucking movie.
seems like so dumb a concept that if anyone with any kind of talent had their hands on it,
No.
it might have been actually
No.
great, right? It might have been. It's because this concept is so fucking stupid.
Yo. So I'm just like, did y'all not learn your lessons? Like, yo, like what are we gonna do is watch The Rock in a truck rally for 2 hours? Like, who
Yeah,
gives a
man.
fuck, man?
Maybe he becomes part of the truck, or the truck becomes like a real monster, and he has to fight it with a gorilla on a helicopter because he loves helicopters and gorillas, giant monsters,
Yeah,
and
man.
earthquakes.
My man's he's been making the same fucking movie with the same two directors Rawson Marshall Thurber and the other dude he'll work with, Brad Payton. Those are like the only two directors that nigga makes movies with, and they making the same movie.
I fell asleep last week, and I woke up to Skyscraper.
Yeah.
It's like, why is yeah. That's all I got. Just fucking all right. Anyway.
So let's transition to our last bit, which I want to ask you this, Jeff. Since summer movie season's officially over, we're transitioning to fall movie season, which is usually our busiest time because, you know, all the foreign films are coming, all the festival darlings are coming, all the awards, as they call them, as I like to call them, sad white people movies are coming, you know, for awards bait. I
love.
So now as we transition to this, we are more than halfway through the year. So Jeff, so far, what's your favorite movie in this pretty weak? Because this summer movie season, I'm just gonna start out and say like my favorite movie did not come out during the summer. Like I could give you offhand and you know me, Jeff, I love summer blockbusters.
Right.
Offhand, there's two I love. That is Furiosa and Inside Out. And then there's two others I like, which is The Fall Guy. Three others, excuse me. Fall Guy, Planet of the Apes, and A Quiet Place. So 5 movies out of this long ass summer where we saw almost everything. That's pretty fucking terrible. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, Fall Guy definitely at the top of the list. Y'all fucked up by not watching it, but on Peacock they've got the extended.
Yeah, I was gonna watch that tonight. I guess we'll do that next week.
Yeah, we'll check that out. I still also have to watch The Killer.
It's better than Silent Night. I'll say that much. It's better than Silent Night. It ain't Silent Night. Silent Night was that was rough.
John Woo, you used to be beautiful, man. Yeah. So Fall Guy, Apes. Like, I enjoyed Apes, but it didn't feel like a complete movie to me. It felt like a setup.
Yeah, like I said in the review, like it's a setup, but like I'm gonna give it another shot like this weekend. You know what I'm saying? Since it's on Hulu, because I remember I did say at the end of the review, like, oh, I definitely watch it again once it hits Hulu. So now that's on Hulu.
It's not bad. So I'll give it that. A Quiet Place 2. Yeah, it's up there. What? I mean, honestly, can I count Strange Darling as a summer movie?
Yeah, I mean, it came out, and we're gonna talk about it in our main review this episode. Look, my 2 favorite movies of the year star Zendaya, and they came out in winter. So, I mean, the fact that a fucking a queer-coded tennis movie is at the top of my list, I don't know what the fuck does that say about this year.
Yeah, I mean, what other?
But you know what? Luca was amazing. Luca, he's putting out a new movie again this fall. A24 just picked it up.
Oh, what?
It's an adaptation of William S. Burroughs' Queer. So you know it's going to be fucking insane. They said they built the sets to make it resemble Mexico, but they built them to make it like hyper realistic in that verite German expressionistic style. Daniel Craig's playing William S. Burroughs. Just going to give you a heads up. They say it contains graphic homosexual sex.
I mean, so.
But I mean, it's Luca. I mean, yo, listen, Luca Guadagnino makes it, Jeff. I go fucking see it. That's just how it is. I'm sorry.
Look, for the audience out there, just because you watch gay people in a movie doesn't make you gay. It's cool.
Yo, listen, Luca Guadagnino matches my freak. Like every time he puts out a movie, I'm like, oh, you just as sick as I am. Yes.
I'm trying to think, what other summer movies came out? Like a Twisters doesn't count.
Yeah,
like it's a summer movie, but it's not good. I guess Alien, Romulus, it was fine.
It's fucking fan service, man. Like, yo, Jeff, didn't I say like it's gonna be hard for anybody to top Dune Part 2? And now, like, I'm summer's over. I'm like, yeah, it's fucking nigga. It's still fucking. I don't know why they dropped that in March. That shit should have came out during the summer. That shit would have ate up.
yeah, it would still it would still be eating up. Oh, I guess Wolverine and Deadpool. I will say, as far as summer movies go, that's it's dumb and it's fun.
I'm not gonna
Like
hold that
even
against you. Like I know that
yeah,
movie. That movie has pissed a lot of our fellow critics off. Like some of them are like, "Yeah, the perfect movie for 15-year-olds." I'm like, "Yeah, I
yeah,
agree with you, but like if somebody likes it, that is a movie where I'm like, I get it, and I'm not gonna hold that against you." You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like,
It's and like on repeat viewings. Yeah,
it is not Argyle.
right. It's the law of diminishing returns on repeat viewings, but it's when I saw it, it was it was enjoyable enough compared to everything else we had this summer.
Yo, and before we get into what have you watched lately, I just want to say Venice kicked off last week, and the kickoff movie was the world premiere of Beetlejuice, and as soon as that was finished, review embargo broke, and I am so happy. Like the
Yeah,
only negative review I read was from Variety where they said, "Oh, it's just fan service," but everybody else was like, "No, this motherfucker's funny and it's good," and I'm just like, "Thank God, thank fucking
yeah,
God."
yeah. I mean, because this would have broken my heart if Beetlejuice wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
After
also
all this time, especially because we were supposed to get Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian, where he's going to be surfing in Hawaii and have a whole adventure in Hawaii.
yeah, just like one of those old fucking Elvis movies. Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I remember they were going to make that, and I read the script, and I was just like, I don't think it would have been as good as the first one, but it still would have been like a very funny fucking movie.
right, right. And just a warning for all you people. I can already tell the complaints that people are gonna have with Beetlejuice. It's like there's not enough Beetlejuice in it, right? And
Beetlejuice
here's
is
the
only in
thing:
17 minutes of the
17
first.
minutes of the first one.
So the
Yeah,
fact that they did it again, and he's like, yeah, he's only going to be in it for 17 minutes, fine.
fine,
Fucking fine.
fine, fucking fine.
You
But
don't
like
even notice it the first time because it's just because the first movie is just so
wild,
weird, right?
right?
Because you're trying to figure out what's going on with this married couple and why are people moving into their house. Like that shit is wild. Like it's a whole ass movie before Beetlejuice even shows up.
Right, and it is perfect. But I know the internet is gonna complain about that shit, and so I'm saying it right now. Fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as soon as I get home Monday night, I'm gonna rewatch the first one, even though I saw it in Dolby. Did a review of it in for Dolby. What was it like
Like 2
last
years ago.
October? Right? It was
Yeah,
last
something like that.
October. Like they put it in Dolby, and I was like, oh yeah, man, I hadn't seen this in a minute. Fucking Beetlejuice Snake still freaks me out though.
I wonder if they're gonna give us popcorn buckets this time.
I hope we get popcorn. Period. Like popcorn and a drink.
Shit.
Yeah. I guess like the only movies now coming up I'm looking forward to, right? Beetlejuice. Uh, what's the name of that shit? Oh man, Gladiator 2,
Right.
Here, and Nosferatu. And
Yeah,
now
that's
I guess because we'll talk about in trailer talk, but now add Sonic 3 to that list because that's
yeah.
we'll talk about that in trailer talk.
All right. So
Jeff, what have you watched lately?
What are you watching?
all right. So we're gonna start with TV. And so if you have Netflix, you will have noticed that all of those AMC shows are now on Netflix. Like everything from AMC Plus. So like the
Wait,
Daryl Dixon.
could I ask you a question? Because I
Yeah.
still don't understand this. Why does licensed content keep Netflix alive and not their original content? Like everybody watches everything except the shit they make.
I have no fucking clue, man. It's ridiculous. Right? Like so
Like
I
they should just go back to what they were when they first started. It's just like, oh yeah, here's a bunch of shit you like, because like they
yeah,
ain't putting nothing out.
and that's that's fucking fine. I'm just like mad at all these other services. Like I would be pissed off if I had paid for AMC Plus, right?
Yeah.
or like I get HBO Max for free through my cell phone, so that's a given. But like all the shit that's on HBO Max, that's on Netflix. I'd be fucking pissed.
Yeah, now
right?
everything that was supposed to be a Max original is now going to air on HBO anyway because they're like, oh, we spent too much money for it to just be on this streaming service.
Right, and like
Even
this
though
whole
that's
time,
why it was fucking created.
and this whole entire Hulu Disney Plus bullshit, like,
Yeah.
fucking stop it.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
So,
man.
So go on Netflix right now. All of the AMC shows are on there, right?
So even Walking Dead, Those Who Live.
Walking Dead, Those Who Live, the Daryl Dixon show is on there. Gangs of London.
Oh, they pulled that from HBO?
I don't know if they pulled it, but it's on there. All of those Anne Rice
interview with
shows.
the
Vampire, yeah.
I want to watch the Mayfair Witches.
Yeah, all that shit is on there, right? Including, because BET sort of falls into that AMC, a show called Average Joe. Average Joe stars Dion Cole as an everyday dude who finds out his father stole $10 million from the Russian mob, and he's got to deal with the consequences. I want to love this show because it's trying so hard to be Black Breaking Bad. And it's almost fucking there. It's almost there, except for the fact that everyone keeps making stupid moves in this show. Like, obviously stupid moves, right? And so it's just infuriating, right? Because if the characters were smarter, this show would be a banger because it's dark as fuck. It's dark as fuck. It's violent as fuck. You feel the stakes. It's a 10-episode arc. They could have cut it down to 8 episodes. Right?
Like everything.
Yeah. But if they had tightened it up, worked on some of the story beats, this, like, people will be talking about this like Black Breaking Bad, right? So I hear it's getting a second season. Hopefully they correct all of that bullshit that was in this first season. But if you're looking for like a dark crime thriller that involves Russian gangsters, murder, torture, and all that shit, but with black folk, Average Joe. I can't hate it because I see the potential in it. Yeah, because a lot of people hated season 1 of Breaking Bad, right? Even though that season was perfect. So give Average Joe a try. I rarely say that for a BET produced show, but this was on BET Plus, got no burn on there, got on Netflix. Now it's like top 10. So give it a look.
If I was Reed Hastings and Ted Sarandos, I'd be looking at this being like, what are we even spending? Why are we even 10 billion in the hole? Why? And we keep doing this.
Just be Captain Save a Ho with these other shows.
Yeah, man.
Right? Just save other shows.
Yeah, because Jesus.
Right? So still on that fucking AMC shit. AMC on Netflix. All of Preacher is on Netflix.
Oh, talk about a show that fell off. Like, that first season was decent. Second season was okay, and then seasons 3 and 4 were like, ugh.
Yeah, I never finished season 4 because I liked the show so much and I knew it was getting canceled.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about this. I don't like to watch the last seasons of shows just so in my twisted mind it kind of lives forever.
Yeah,
but it's right there on Netflix. I got no excuse, so I've been watching all of Preacher, And you are absolutely correct. Season 3 is where we really start fucking taking a nosedive. Because that first season, I've rolled with it. That second season, rolled with it. This third season is like, okay, sure.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say this. I've never read the comic. I've heard the comics, the entire run, like all 8 graphic novels, are some of the best comics ever written. And like, I remember when the first season came out, they were completely changing the show, and people were like, "This is not the show," and they're like, it's a road show, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna get on the road in season 2. Just wait and see." And like, I'll be real with you. Even as somebody who hasn't read the comics, I would not recommend anybody watch this show.
Yeah, no, it's fine. This takes a certain type of person to enjoy. I love Devils and Angels and all that shit.
Yeah, and I want to read the graphic novels because I enjoyed the characters enough.
Right.
It's just, again, the execution of and the way they told the story. I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah, I dug it up all the way up until the 3rd season. I'm in the 3rd season right now, so I'm going to finish it out. So I can actually know how they
Wrap it
the
up.
series.
Yeah,
right?
because I mean, at least they did get enough time where they could properly give it an ending. They ain't angel it.
Yeah,
fucking still pisses me off. I was like, oh, we finally get Spike in here. They start working from Wolfman and Hart. Like they completely reboot the show, and they're like, all right, yeah, you're done. I'm like, yo, nah, bro, we got Angel and Spike together. Like, nah.
I will always use "I Call the Dragon" as like
premature
premature. Yeah, like I call it. Yeah. So Preacher, if you like Devils versus Angel weird shit, like half blasphemous, religious action comedy, watch Preacher, right?
Right.
But I get it if you don't like it. But it's AMC on Netflix. Moving on from that, on HBO Max, there's the Rick and Morty anime.
Oh, how is that? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Because I love the first 2 seasons of Rick and Morty, and then season 3 is where it became insufferable, and the fans got insufferable, and I'm like, I wash my hands of this shit.
And I get that. So imagine an anime version of Rick and Morty without the comedy, but with all of the weird portal jumping bullshit. Right?
Oh, you know what? I might give that a spin.
Like, I'm not like the hugest anime fan, like pure anime, like that deep cut Japanese shit.
Yeah,
right?
I'll give it a spin then.
Yeah. You may like it. I can't fuck with it, but I'm already 3 episodes in. I might as well fucking. It's 20 minutes on a Friday night.
Okay.
I can spare that.
All right.
Yeah. Moving on from that, still on HBO Max, I decided to watch Veep.
Oh, go through it again?
Well, I didn't go through it the first time.
Oh, okay.
It was one of those, just like Succession, it was one of those shows where it got so much burn that I wanted to be contrary. It was like, I'm not going to watch this fucking shit, blah, 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 blah. But now that, knock on wood, we're going to have a Kamala in the office.
Oh, right? You're watching this?
I'm watching Veep, and I like it. I don't love it.
I'm going to let you know now. Once you hit season 4, it gets rough.
Okay.
And the ending is you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. And I fall a little more towards the hate. Like, I don't hate it, but I'm just like, all right.
Yeah, right now I'm in season 2 and it's still flying. And I noticed this with a lot of these shows I'm watching. Maybe binge watching them isn't the best way to watch.
Oh yeah,
shit.
Veep. Yeah, definitely not. Because that's mean spirited. It's just a mean spirited show.
Yeah. So like, I had to take a break.
Because they're awful. They're awful people.
Yeah. Politics are bullshit. It's the worst.
Veep reminds me a lot of Silicon Valley, where like the first 3-4 seasons were hilarious, and then the last 2 you're just like, oh Jesus Christ.
Like I never finished Silicon Valley. Like I went up to like the last 3 episodes, and I'm like, who's the main dude? I don't even forget this character's name.
Thomas Middleditch is the actor, but you know, but yeah.
Like his character became such an asshole by that last season. I was like, I'm kind of rooting for you to fail. So I don't want to watch these last 3 episodes.
And you know what, man? Mike Judge just liked to torture those characters. Like, you know, he was just like, I just remember hearing him about season 2 where he's like, okay, they got to win. Let's really put them through the ringer in season 2. And then that was just the formula for the show, is like put them through the ringer, and then they'll find something at the very last minute to pull them out until the last season. They get put through the ringer, and I'm just going to spoil it. They lose.
Well, yeah, good.
And I'm just like, I sat through this shit, watching this shit to get to this fucking week ending. I was like, fuck off.
Yeah, like yeah. So that's a show I don't actually have to finish because like T.J. Miller, Tom Middleditch.
Oh yeah, the way they write him out of the show, I was just like, oh word.
Yeah, and like I didn't notice until someone brought it up online. He's not even in the new Deadpool movie.
Oh yeah. I remember when he got written off of Silicon Valley, Ryan Reynolds was like, yeah, whenever we make it, he's not going to be in Deadpool 3.
I was like, how horrible is this dude?
And he swears up and down in interviews right now, I'll never work with Ryan Reynolds again. I'm like, bro, nobody wants to work with you, period. Like, what are you talking about, Ryan Reynolds?
It's fine. It's fine.
White delusion.
And my last talking about white delusion, my last TV show, Chimp Crazy.
Oh, you watched it? I keep seeing ads for it.
Yo, animal people are fucking strange, man. Like
shit.
All of these people are fucking insane. White people really like to put themselves in situations where they may die.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Right?
They're
Like
crazy, baby.
It's in their genes, man. Like these people know that monkeys stop being cute at around 7 and become violent.
Yeah.
Right? They say this 5 times in the first episode. Oh yeah, we couldn't be an actor anymore because he hit 7 and he started being aggressive.
Bro,
right?
that is the whole reason for one of my favorite movies, Nope, right? The whole reason Jupe makes dumbass decisions is because he survived a chimpanzee attack.
Yeah.
The reason he's so horrible is because he has a god complex because of that attack. You'd think like, oh yeah, he would use that trauma to do something good, and instead it just made him an even worse person.
Right. Yeah. So it is not as hilarious or quotable as Tiger King because it's by the same guy who does Tiger King.
Oof. Where do you find these white trash people with animals?
Like this is like a collective, man. Like these animal people stick together, right? And it's just like this motherfucker's in the tigers, this bitch is in the chimpanzees. I'm only on the second episode. The first episode is fucking wild. It's going to be a ride. Just fucking animals are meant to be in the wild, right? We lucked out with dogs and cats, right? You start putting in intelligent animals that have double your strength. Yeah, you're gonna get fucked up.
The only exotic animals I want as pets is a capybara and a giraffe.
Sure. Give me some tame ass animals. Give me some chill ass pot smoking animals.
Like, I love going on Instagram and seeing people pet capybaras because them niggas fall over and then roll over and just.
They're cute as fuck. If you don't like a capybara, you don't have a soul.
And giraffes are cool, baby. Like, I want a giraffe.
Yeah, giraffes are cool, but then you start getting into like alpha
Bears,
predators.
yeah,
Right,
like motherfuckers would be fucking have pet bears and pet like lions. And I'm like,
tigers.
somebody has a caracal and that shit. Like, I've been going through all their Instagram videos and that caracal is hissing at them and
what is
gets
a caracal?
Google it. Google it. That is a exotic cat that most people don't want as pets. That's every time they go up to it, it hisses and retracts its claws, and I'm like, bro, that caracal's not playing with you. That thing wants to eat you. Like, what is wrong with y'all, bro? Yeah. Look, big cats are not meant for domestication, bro.
If it has the designation of an alpha predator, like you are waiting to die.
That's like you want a killer whale as a pet when it has killer in its name. Gonna be Mariton Cotillard from that French movie. I can't remember the name of it. You know what I'm talking about? It's that French movie where she was working at SeaWorld.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, it was a great movie. She was working at SeaWorld and her leg gets bitten off by a killer whale, and then she befriends this violent MMA fighter and his son, and the whole arc of the movie is her trying to learn how to live and him trying to be a better person.
Okay, that sounds very French. That sounds very interesting.
Very rough movie to watch, but it's amazing. It is amazing. I remember that was one of the movies to see that year when it came out, and I was just like, all right, let me. And then halfway through, I'm like, God damn it, y'all got me. Like, y'all got me, wiping tears out my eyes and shit.
So I looked up a caracal. Yeah, that thing looks like it wants to eat you.
Like, Jeff, every time they go up to it, it hunches its back and hisses. And you see the hair stand up and the claws come out. And they're like, look how Pumbaa's playing with us. I'm like, and everybody's like, every time you put up a video, Pumbaa looks like he's going to eat you. And then you back away when he comes up and hisses at you.
Pumbaa is testing the electric fence like the velociraptors in Jurassic Park, right? He's just waiting to fuck you up.
I'm surprised he hasn't eaten them in their sleep, to be quite honest with you.
It's coming, man. It's coming.
Yo, man.
So let me stop talking about white people death wishes. Move on to movies.
Get a wild boar for a pet.
No, man. Even look at wild boars.
I know. I'm saying I know because they eat people too. But that's what I'm saying. Like, somebody's gonna get a boar as a pet.
Never trust a motherfucker with a fucking pig farm.
Well, as long as the pigs don't have tusk like boars do. Like, whenever I like somebody, I'm like, why anything with tusk you don't need to have as an animal? Like, I know elephants can be fucking nice, but if you piss them off, and all it takes is 1 second and you're getting stomped out.
Anything with weapons and or armor, just stay away from it. Because it's got weapons and armor for a reason.
Yeah.
So moving on to Richard Linklater's Hitman. I get it. It's a cute movie.
Yeah, see?
It's a really cute.
Still in my top 10 of the year.
Like flowy movie. I was wondering how they were going to end it, and I'm not mad at the ending.
Yo, I love that ending because it's so dark, but it fits the movie so well.
It's so dark, but it's also like, oh.
Yeah, it's cute, right?
It's cute.
It's like
it's cute.
It is like if David Fincher was just like, you know what? I'm gonna give y'all a treat.
It's a David Fincher rom-com. That's what it is. That's Hitman. But it's once again, Glenn Powell is becoming America's sweetheart. Like you, no matter what he's in, you just enjoy watching that shit.
Yeah.
Moving on from that, I discovered the 1988 film Homeboy, starring Christopher Walken and fucking not but my brain is fucking mush. Who played the wrestler?
And in what movie?
No, like the wrestler, like the Aronofsky wrestler.
Oh, that is Mickey Rooney.
Mickey Rourke.
Or Mickey Rourke, yeah, my
Yeah,
bad.
yeah. So starring Mickey Rourke as a rundown boxer.
Damn, where's he been?
I don't know, fucking doing Expendables movies. But this movie's from '88.
Oh yeah, has that hit Tubi yet?
What?
Expendables 4?
Probably.
Like that's what I'm waiting on.
I'm not even trying to look for it, man. Like Tubi's going to have to force that in my face. It's like, hey, Jeff, you like words. Here is Expendables 4.
Listen, I'm a glutton for punishment, so I will watch it as soon as it hits. When I can't pay for it, I'll watch it.
So if anyone out there wants to send us an email, tell us where we can find Expendables 4, because I don't think either of us want to go through the work.
Hold on, I just Googled it. It's on Stars. So yeah, once it comes to something I don't have to pay for, I'll watch it.
Stars has it for another 3 months, and then it's going straight to Tubi.
Yo, shout out to Stars. Y'all like the Lionsgate of networks.
Shit. Don't they own it? Don't they own?
Yeah, they do. Oh shit. Lionsgate. Oh man.
Staying on brand. Oh fuck. So Homeboy, it's about a fucking rundown boxer. Mickey Rourke barely talks. I think it's during his transition where his face got real fucked up because he was actually boxing, right? So because he's not pretty like he was in these other movies, his earlier movies. He's looking rough in this one.
He's post comeback Mickey Rourke.
Yeah, post comeback that wasn't really a comeback because all he did was the wrestler,
Iron Man 2,
and the
Expendables, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
Okay, all right. So yeah, that's string.
Yeah, the El Mariachi movie where he's the side character and not the main character.
I can't even. It has been 15 years since I've seen that movie. All I remember is Johnny Depp wearing a lot of costumes.
Yeah, and the fake arm, so he could shoot people under the table.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's a weird movie. It's a weird movie. I remember going to see it opening day, and I was just like, "This is the last one."
This is how you end it? Okay.
I was like, all right.
Yeah, fine. Yeah. So Homeboy, you can watch it or don't watch it. Like, if you really want to fill in your Mickey Rourke filmography, yeah, watch it.
Said that dryly. Said that fucking dryly with disdain. Yeah, fucking watch it.
Like it exists. Like the movie exists. It's not horrible. It's not great. I wish I got my 2 hours back.
Damn.
Yep. Moving on from that, I watched Don't Suck on Amazon. Well, let me. I watched the first 20 minutes of Don't Suck.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
It's a Matt Rife movie.
Who's that nigga?
You know that pretty comedian that had that Netflix special that he almost got canceled for because he made a rape joke as his first joke.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he did a movie with Jamie Kennedy where he plays Matt Rife plays a vampire.
That's where you fucked up, Jamie Kennedy.
And Jamie Kennedy's looking rough.
Yeah.
He's looking like a swamp boat captain.
If I wasn't funny and I got divorced from
Jennifer
Jamie,
Love Hewitt, right?
Yeah, Jennifer Love Hewitt, I'd be looking rough too. Now she has 2 kids with some prettier dude who has a lot more going for him, and he's not even famous.
Yeah, so it's rough all around. This movie, like the people involved are rough. The movie's rough. Like I said, I only watched the first 20 minutes of it. Matt Rife plays a vampire who wants to be a stand-up comedian, so he enlists Jamie Kennedy
Oh
as
no.
his yeah, as his comedy guru. And I was like, when it showed up in my feed, is like, oh, this is gonna be bad. Let me watch it. And it was so bad that I couldn't watch it. So don't suck sucks. I like they play that play on words that they did with the fucking thing. And I'm gonna
That sounds
close
rough.
out with I really want to talk about street walking, but I'm gonna save that for the next episode. So I watched the OG Crow.
Yeah, still rips, baby.
Yeah, like I was never a fan of the movie, right? I didn't hate it, but I wasn't like a fanboy. I also hadn't seen it in 10, 15 years. I dug what Alex Proyas did with this movie,
Hell yeah.
right?
Yo, listen, The Crow's one of the best superhero movies ever made.
Right? It's got no fucking fat on it. It starts after the murder,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And it just goes from go. It does not take. It explains nothing to you, right? You just find out.
I just kind of wish they had the skeleton cowboy. I wish they could have made that animatronic work. That's why they cut it out, because the shit wouldn't move and it was herky jerky.
Okay. I mean, I don't know anything about the comic.
Hey,
We'll get to,
quick question: is the
Yeah.
skeleton cowboy in the remake?
Is there a skeleton that looks like a cowboy? No.
All right, so once I get into my watches, Google skeleton cowboy The Crow, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Right.
But keep going about the OG.
Yeah. And so it's still it takes a lot from
Batman?
Batman 89, right?
Yeah,
Like the actual sets, the miniatures and everything like that, even
but they make it work.
architecture style.
Right.
It's definitely aping Batman 89, but it works. Ernie Hudson finally being used, right? In
Fucking
a movie.
Tony Todd.
Like I'm not going to say it's a great movie, but it's a good movie, right? And
It's great in my eyes.
yeah. I would not take that away from anyone. Like stylistically, what they did with this movie is fantastic, especially considering that your star died halfway through it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we'll get into my review of the new Crow later. But like this thing fucking flies. It flies. It's entertaining. It's fun. It doesn't take itself for a movie that's dim and dark. It honestly doesn't take itself as seriously as you would think it would, and I appreciate that. It knows that it's a comic book movie.
Yeah.
You know. So if you haven't seen The Crow in a while, give it a look. Like I said, to me it's not great, but it's definitely better than I remember it. So there you go. Brandon, what have you been watching?
All right. Well, let's start off with TV. I finally started the Wheel of Time season 2. I still love the show. I'm just tired of characters making fucking stupid ass decisions, honestly. That's about it.
I mean, like, what's with all these shows and just having story convenience, right?
Listen, it's more the characters are stubborn. That's the problem. I'm like, stop being so fucking stubborn, because now y'all getting other people killed and we can't really move the plot forward because you're just a stubborn bitch. Just stop being stubborn and accept your situation. You know what I mean? This is the card you've been dealt. Deal with them.
Right.
Very excited though to finish this second season. It's already been renewed for a third, but like, it's going in a very cool direction. I'm not familiar with the books,
Right.
Right? I only watched the first season and now started the second season. And as someone who hasn't read these books, highly entertaining. This show's honestly better than the fucking Lord of the Rings show that they put out.
And honestly, that's the comparison I keep on getting. Like, just watch The Wheel of Time.
Yeah, yeah. Like, yo, I don't need another Lord of the Rings property when I got this and Foundation. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though Foundation's sci-fi, it still like has
Still epic.
Yeah. So, uh, Kite Man, hell yeah. The only time I enjoyed this, like we're almost done with the season, but and like the only thing I can say right now is like when he got transformed into beast mode, I wish they just kept him beast mode because that shit was funny.
So one
Two
gag.
episodes, yeah, a gag across 2 episodes, yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, it never looked to be good to me, right?
Yeah, and they just announced Harley Quinn's coming back like as soon as this wraps up.
So like they're dropping this in what, September then?
Yeah.
Harley Quinn. All right, cool.
Yeah, fuck it. This shit, bro. I'm good on this shit. I'm really once we're done, I'm good on this shit. Like the only thing that I appreciate that they're doing is at the beginning of each episode that Lex Luthor's in, it'll start off saying in memory of Lance Reddick because Lance Reddick is voicing Lex Luthor.
Oh, that's okay. That's cool.
Yeah. Otherwise, like fuck you, whatever.
Well.
And then Futurama on Hulu. I still like this revival. Like the new season is like 4 episodes deep, and I'm still laughing.
Like I watched the first 2 episodes. I just don't think I'm into Futurama anymore.
Yeah, well, it's not for you, baby. I get it.
Yeah, no, like I used to watch like the OG, and I thought I enjoyed it, and I can recognize that these shows are good. It's just like, doesn't connect.
Yeah, look, I get it. Did you Google Skeleton Cowboy?
Oh wait, no, totally forgot.
All right, so I'm gonna move now into movies, and let's start with where did we leave off? Beneath the Planet of the Apes. Oh no, I talked about Beneath the Planet of the Apes. I'm sorry, we did not talk about. Yep, on the last episode. Did not talk about Escape from the Planet of the Apes. Man, I love how each passing movie in the OG series, they're just like, all right, so you get half of the previous movie's budget, and it shows. And this one's cool because it just straight up becomes a fucking comedy. And then because it's Planet of the Apes, those last 30 minutes just bleak as fuck, just bleak and dour as fuck, and then on a down ending. I'm like, God damn! Even when y'all make a comedy, y'all gotta end it in a harsh way.
Is this the one where the apes come back to like our time?
Yes.
Yeah, and they're wearing suits and ties and shit like that.
Yes, and they have parties, and and she's like, yeah, I want some of that grape soda, and it's wine.
Yep. I remember. Unfortunately, yeah.
The very next one, and might be one of besides the OG, probably my favorite of the OG series, because the OG is gonna be the best, because nothing's gonna top that. But Conquest comes close. Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. God damn, we're back to bleak mode in this series. Like this shit is bleak as fuck. Also, again, has half the budget of the previous movie, but the uprising at the end is awesome to watch. Like, I ain't even gonna hold you. Plus, like, the themes of slavery and shit like that are fucking wild.
Right, that's the one with Caesar's in the circus, right?
No. That's the one where he's in the city.
Okay.
Yeah, and they, the human city where they're keeping them as slaves and shit like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, all apes are slaves. Finally went back up on Hulu a couple of weeks ago. I watched it again, and I'm gonna stand by this shit. This is Michael Bay's best motherfucking movie, 1998, written by J.J. Abrams and Dan Gilroy. two of the best screenwriters in Hollywood. Armageddon. Look,
Dude,
look,
you
man.
never have to.
Armageddon.
I will never argue that. That's
Armageddon, bro. Any movie would have like the first 10 minutes of Armageddon would be like the final 10 minutes of a normal movie. Like from the jump, this motherfucker just a fucking whole spaceship explodes. New York is decimated. Fucking you have the racism right off the bat with Eddie Griffin saying, "Man, I'm gonna beat your pineapple ass," talking to a Samoan. And I'm just like, damn, that's wild racist. Samoan dies immediately after he says that.
you got Mark Curry as the cab driver.
Yep,
two
yep,
Chinese.
yep. We want to go shopping.
Yeah. I will always defend Armageddon. I love that fucking trash movie.
It is his best movie. It's entertaining. It's a lot of shit in it that you're just like, wait, what? Like, come on, like, listen, before y'all start jumping on us, the premise of this movie's fucking retarded. Like, yo, why would you get oil drillers to drill an asteroid?
Because he's the best oil driller on the face of the earth.
Yeah, man.
He's drilled every surface.
Yeah. And the whole shit with Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck, and I'm just like, well, you know, Grace is Liv Tyler in this clearly is a 30-year-old woman. I don't know why you're acting like she's 15, bro. Like if I was in Bruce Willis's shoes, I'd be like, all right, well, I mean,
it's like he's the best of the worst of them, right?
Yeah, it's like, yo, do what you got to do. I mean, they have fucking Steve Buscemi's whole character is problematic. I mean, Rockhound.
Yeah.
I wish they would have went into Rockhound's space. You know, because you got space fever where you start to lose it. Like when you're on a ship for a long time, you start to lose it. I wish they would have fucking handled that a little better. Also, Rockhound helped Liv Tyler's character with tampons when she was a teen, where I'm just like, you just gloss over that? Like, yo, if I was Bruce Willis, I would stop chasing Ben Affleck and shoot fucking Steve Buscemi right then and there. Fuck him. Fuck that.
One of my favorite lines when they're in space is by William Fichtner, and he goes, "He's got a case of space madness." It's like,
he says space dementia, and I was just dementia? Like, right. That's not dementia, you fucking idiot.
I mean, machine guns in space.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. That makes no sense. Why they have astronauts first and foremost are scientists and mathematics people, because those are the only people smart enough to go into space. So they're taking these blue collar oil drillers into space. Why does any of them have guns in the first place? Like, I know William Fichtner had a pistol, and they say that, why you have a gun in space? But then I'm like, bro, why did NASA they're not military, they're exploration people. Why does NASA put fucking machine guns on these vehicles, man? That shit makes no sense.
So this is how big a fan I am. If you watch the extended edition Criterion, there's a line in there that explains it, and it's still very stupid, right? But they explain it. It was like, oh yeah, in order for us to do everything we needed to do, the Army said we had to put a machine gun on here. So why you have to have a machine gun? Though that would make no sense. Because the Army wanted it on there.
But the Army has nothing to do with this shit. This is a NASA mission.
But like they're using they're using nuclear bombs and shit like that. And no, it doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah, but that would be from the government, not from the Army. What in the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
I'm glad they cut that out of the movie, because if they left that shit in, I would have been like, nah, bro, nah. But yo, listen, watching this again, I was just like, oh yeah, when we got to the animal cracker scene, I was like, oh, I forgot he plays with the animal crackers on her tits first before he shoves them up her pussy.
Yeah. So
I don't want to close my eyes.
When you explain that to me, I
don't want to go to sleep.
Like when you explain that to me, that this chick is getting fucking dicked down while her father is serenading her, it blew my fucking mind.
I love that at the end of the scene though. I like the setting too, because not only is he shoving animal crackers in her privates, but they're in the middle of nowhere next to a gas station. I'm just like, wait, what? Next to a tree. Like it's a field, it's a grassy field and a tree, and then a gas station. I'm like, why is there a gas station in the middle of a fucking field?
Because Michael Bay, baby. Because
Like,
Michael Bay.
Yo, and I love the end of that scene. That shit just cracks me up where Liv Tyler's like, hey, baby, do you think other people are doing the same exact thing anywhere else in the world? And Ben Affleck goes, I hope so. Or else, why are we even doing this? I'm like, so other people are shoving animal crackers up their parts? That's what y'all are hoping that's going on? Like he shoves animal crackers in her bra, animal crackers in her pussy. I was like, yo, this movie's wild.
Yeah.
That's the only, honestly, that's the only part of it where I'm just like, maybe we should have cut this scene. Honestly, we didn't need it.
Right. Well, you needed the love scene. You didn't need the animal crackers.
Yeah. Like when they have sex in the spaceship before they go to outer space, I'm like, yeah. Like the first 20 minutes of this movie might be some of the best Michael Bay's I've ever done. To be quite honest with you.
I mean, like, look, I will not argue that this is his, if not his best, one of his best films, and I will stand by this.
And this motherfucker was his fourth movie. I was like, bro, that's wild that he got this much money to make this shit as his fourth movie.
Yo, man, the Rock made fucking after Bad Boys and The Rock, man, he could do no wrong.
Yeah, but yo, listen. And The Rock's another one where I was just like, y'all could have saved yourselves a lot of grief if you had just paid them, because they were owed that money anyway. They served in the military. Pay them what they're owed. Like, that's another one where I'm just like, bro, you look at the plot, like Armageddon is more plausible than the fucking Rock.
It doesn't matter, man. It's Michael Bay. Nothing matters.
Yeah, like also Armageddon moves so much faster than The Rock.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like there's too much setup in The Rock.
Yes. Like that's the one thing. Like, yo, when people talk about 90s blockbuster movies and why I love them so much, I'm like, yeah, because Speed, nigga, because of fucking Armageddon, nigga, because of Twister, because of Jurassic Park, because of Men in Black, like Terminator 2,
they get in and
The
out.
Matrix, like these, yeah, like, yo, the 90s, we had some of the best blockbusters ever. Independence Day, like all the best blockbusters from the 90s, whether you think they're good or not, they had a certain pace to them. And the characters and that, what they do with the characters in that fast pace, honestly, is amazing. Right? That you're able to make fully formed characters when a movie is sprinting as soon as it goes to the finish line. You know what I'm saying?
Fucking people are still like get teary-eyed over Randy Quaid in Independence Day. That motherfucker was in that movie for 7 minutes.
Yo, and you know what, man? Not for nothing. Titanic, even though that motherfucker's 3 hours, that's another one that moves fast.
Yeah, I mean, for a 3-hour movie, it moves fast.
For a romantic drama, yeah, that motherfucker moves fast. I mean, it's a blockbuster. Yeah. Also Cameron's because Cameron made 3 big 90s movies. It was, like I said, T2, Titanic, and True Lies. All T's.
I forget about True Lies.
Yeah, all T's. He was in his T era.
Oh shit.
All right, so moving on. Because of that, I was like, oh yeah, I haven't seen this in like since I was a kid, since I was a literal kid. Let me watch it since it was on Hulu. And I was like, Hulu has a whole summer blockbuster section. I was like, yes.
Deep Impact?
What?
Deep Impact?
No. I'll get to that because that's another one I haven't watched since I was a kid. Another one, Volcano, 1997's Volcano. Rewatched this and I struggled, bro. I was like, oh man, I never need to see this motherfucker again. This is top to bottom a piece of shit. Like, the only good part about this is where the windows in downtown LA blow out. Like, that whole sequence was amazing. Otherwise, this movie fucking sucks. Like, Volcano can solve racism in LA.
The worst part of that fucking movie.
Yeah,
right?
bro. Yeah.
When the cops, and like, they're not even thugs. They're just citizens, right? Get together I was like, oh, come on, man.
Like, I gave it a 1.5 on Letterboxd, and you know where most of that goes to? The 1.5? That goes to the set pieces. Like,
Okay.
even Tommy Lee Jones is in this. I'm just like, he is miscast. I'm like, bro, you were too old for this role.
Right.
Because, like, your daughter's, like, 13, and then Anne Heche is supposed to be, like, his quasi-love interest. It's not even... They don't even flesh that out properly. It's just like, bro, you're too old for this movie.
And so the thing that really pushed me over the edge with that movie is when the little boy has the ash all over his
Oh,
face.
yeah, he goes, I can't tell. Everybody looks the same.
I was like, I want to punch that little motherfucker in the face.
Yeah, and they put it in there like it's supposed to be this poignant moment, and it's not.
And it was ADR. And it was ADR. Because you can tell.
Oh boy, yeah. This is one I will make sure to never, ever, 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 ever watch again.
I mean, it's like how Deep Impact went up against Armageddon, Volcano went up against Dante's Peak.
Right. Honestly, I've read the development history of Armageddon and Deep Impact, and even though Armageddon came out before Deep Impact, they were working so hard on that movie for so long that somebody told somebody at Disney the plot of that movie, and they're like, oh well, let's guys, this is what they're doing at Paramount. Let's take that asteroid premise and do something and do this with it. And that's how Armageddon got made.
Oh.
Yeah.
God bless scumbags.
Yeah.
God bless scumbags.
In Vacation Noir, I watched Marilyn Monroe's first major film performance, and this movie fucking rules. It's called Niagara, 1953's Niagara. Yeah, this is noir as fuck. This movie is amazing. Like, I love it. I don't want to give too much away, but like, just know it's less. I think it's like an hour 28 minutes. It's less than an hour 90 minutes. I know that much. Like, this motherfucker is. Mwah. So, keeping it moving. Watch the final movie in the OG Apes trilogy, or Apes series, excuse me, because it's 5 movies, not a trilogy. Battle for the Planet of the Apes, 1973's. Yeah, I like it. I know people hate this one, but I think it's a good little ending to the OG series, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember it, but like, okay.
Yeah, I'll be real with you. Hulu, you should have had all these shits up before Kingdom even dropped, honestly. Like, the fact that these went up the same time as Kingdom, fucking stupid.
Right. It's like you honestly, you want to prepare people.
Yes.
For this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, back to Vacation Noir. I watched 1955's Female on the Beach. It's about a woman who was murdered, a wealthy woman who was murdered, and it's made to look like an accident that she fell from her house to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
And so it makes it look up like this dude she was dating was the one who did it. So when Joan Crawford comes in and takes over the house, he starts dating her immediately again. And we're just like, oh, girl. And then like halfway through the movie, when the movie reveals itself, I was just like, oh, this is juicy. This is juicy and messy, and I love it. And has a really satisfying ending. Yeah. Female on the Beach, 1955. Would not get a title today like that. Vacation Noir, I love you. Moving on, I'm going to get to 1948's Brighton Rock, also in Vacation Noir. This is a movie from the UK where Brighton Rock is allegedly notorious seaside town that's full of crime. For something based on a real place and capturing the mood of the place, it's pretty boring. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I was bored. Not a bad movie, but it's boring.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, like, you always have to take that, like, based on true story shit with a grain of salt, you know?
Yeah. I'm gonna keep going with Vacation Noir with Desert Fury. Desert Fury. I can't remember because there's two movies that take place in the desert. So give me 1 second because I can't even remember. Okay, yeah, this is the good one. Desert Fury is about like this slick talking woman and her daughter and how they get involved with a criminal and there's a cop and like it's really good. Like I'll just leave it at that. Like it's
Okay.
again 95 minutes. This is pure noir. It's very entertaining all the way through. I mean, fucking Rock Hudson's in this motherfucker.
All right.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna get into a re-release that me and my brother went to on my birthday. Got to see Coraline finally in a theater in 3D. Like I've seen it in 3D before, but it was that janky. Before we had 3D TVs, you had those janky 3D glasses, and
Right.
because we didn't get to see it in theaters, and me and my brother, we make sure to see every Lakia movie in theaters. So Box Trolls on, we've seen everything, and I know they're putting out another movie next year. I'm excited for, but I'm glad to see Coraline in 3D in theaters. I forgot how dark this motherfucker is and how scary it is. Shit, if I had a little more time, I would go again this weekend to see Coraline in 3D. Like this
Really?
re-release overperformed. It was supposed to be a 2-day thing only, and now it's been playing for 3 weeks on end. And apparently they're making just as much money now as they did in their initial run when it first came out in 2009.
Well, I know it's a cult classic. I know people love this fucking movie, so it doesn't
Yeah.
surprise me.
I mean, this is the movie that took stop motion to the next level where we're like, oh, you could do all types of shit now with stop motion, and it shows because like the way the characters move, the animation design. Also for them to do like one scene, it would take them 2 months. So like, I understand why Lakia loses money on these movies because I mean nobody takes stop motion seriously as an audience.
Right.
So like when this comes out, like a lot of people have like, ugh. And then as soon as they hit video with all Lakia shit, their hits, and everybody's like, why didn't we see this in theaters? And it's like, yeah, why didn't you? Lakia is like Pixar. Whatever they make, I go see.
Okay.
Yeah, stop motion. They are the kings of stop motion. The last movie they put out was Human Link.
That's the Sasquatch one, right?
Yeah, that shit was funny. That dude could talk. The Sasquatch could talk. When Hugh Jackman's character first happens upon him, he's like, yeah, hey. And he's like, the fuck you can talk? Yeah, I was good. Like, all of Lakia's movies are made for 3D, too. Like, there's shots in this shit where I'm just like, oh. They got flying dogs. Like, the flying dogs over the credits made me crackle. Right after the movie, they did a little retrospective called Rebuilding Coraline, where the modern day team at Lakia rebuilds the puppet Coraline. And I didn't know they didn't all the original Coraline models deteriorated. The reason why they're going through with this is because, they're celebrating this re-release, and they're also Lakia is opening up their own museum at their headquarters. So, while they work on movies, people could come in and visit a museum of their history and all the stuff they've done. So they're rebuilding Coraline to be forever preserved in their little Lakia museum.
Oh, well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
good for them.
And they had trouble rebuilding. They're like, we did not realize how complicated and technical the character of Coraline is, especially because, it's such a... all the Lakia characters are weirdly designed, and you don't realize how many... even the animators are like, how did this character move? How did they get it to stand on their own? Like, even today, they're just like, how did they do this? And you see them having trouble making her arms work and where to put the hinges for her arms.
They pretty much have to make a skeleton for this.
Yeah,
thing. So,
yeah.
yeah.
And they had to use real hair and dye it blue for her hair.
Oh wow! All right.
Yeah, man, it's a process.
See what happens when you put work in.
Listen, this is why I said I cannot wait for the next Lakia movie next year, bro. Like Lakia, they've never made a bad movie. I'll say that much.
Okay, that's fair.
Moving on, I watched the 4K Blu-ray of Collateral. I just want to say, like, this is one of my favorite noirs and like the last great noir, in my opinion. With that, and it's my favorite Michael Mann movie.
Definitely 100%.
With that said, stop complaining about this transfer. A lot of y'all have just been bitching about how this is not a good transfer. 90% of this movie is shot on
mini DV.
1080p. The Viper Thompson, not mini DV. It has the same look as mini DV, but it's the Viper Thompson.
Okay.
It's Michael Mann. He still uses it today, and I'm like, dog, that the maximum resolution from those cameras is 1080p, which is just regular high definition. When the movie came out, it was scanned to a 2K digital intermediate, which 2K at the time was like the highest quality,
Right.
and then they put it to film because it still had film prints in 2004. So yeah, look, it's upscaled to 4K. They did as best as a job they could. It looks good to me. Like it's video. Like they literally shot on digital video. I don't know what y'all were expecting. Like this is the best this movie's ever gonna look.
Right, but it's still going to look like digital video. It's
Right.
still going to have that grain because it's not shot on film.
Right. And I think the digital video works here better than it did in Miami Vice or Public Enemies. It's just because this movie is just so raw and gritty and takes
Right.
place on the streets, so that look also helps establish the feel. I think
This
that's
feels
why
like a documentary.
Yeah,
It feels
and
like a documentary. Yeah.
I think that's why it works for the first episode of Tokyo Vice. And that's the only time Tokyo Vice looks like that is the episode Michael Mann did. And I think it works for that too, because again, you're establishing this gritty, dark underworld. It just doesn't work in Miami Vice because Miami Vice is supposed to be colorful and bright and shit like that.
Right.
And then Public Enemies, it's like it's a period piece, man. Like
Yeah,
should have
for
just
like
shot on fucking film.
Film. Yeah. No, I totally like everything you're saying. I totally agree with you.
Yeah, like y'all, it's fucking. That's why I'm very excited to see the 4K transfer that's coming out in a couple of months for Zodiac, because that was also shot on 1080p digital cameras. Doesn't have the video look that this has, but like I'm
Still
interested to see how you make a 4K version of 1080p video
Yeah,
for
it's gonna
that.
be- right. And no matter what you get, it's going to be the best thing possible.
Yeah, man.
it's just like- with what they're working with.
Also, and I mean this as no offense, I'm not expecting every 4K release to be a reference disc. Like I'm not expecting Dune or Jaws or fucking Avatar level quality with every 4K disc. Sometimes a transfer is just good. And that's all you need is just a good transfer. You don't need like something where you're just like, have you seen this 4K? Like, you know, when I try to sell people on 4K, I know the one movie I go to is Wonder Woman because that shit looks amazing in 4K. And every time I show people Wonder Woman in 4K, they're like, nigga, I'm going to Best Buy right now, get myself that TV.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, yeah, that and Dune and Top Gun are like, yeah, Top Gun Maverick, reference this. But like, again, not every 4K Blu-ray is going to be a reference disc. And this is a good transfer. Like, y'all gotta fucking calm down. Seriously.
Nerds, man. Fucking nerds.
Jesus Christ. I watched The Killer last week. John Woo's it's a English language French remake because it takes place in France with a mostly French cast besides Natalie Emmanuel. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's fine. Shout out! I'm glad to see Omar Sy in the lead role. That's the happiest I've been, and I'm also happy to see John Woo having fun. Like I'm not mad at this.
How close is it to the original?
Pretty close, but less serious. You know what I'm saying? Like this takes itself much less serious.
Okay.
Like it knows what it like. The tone established itself what it is. Like you like The Last Dragon, where you watch that and you're just like from the opening credits, you're like, oh, I know what this is gonna be.
Right.
Like
right.
they're setting the tone now. Like that's how The Killer is.
Okay.
Watched in 1953's in Vacation Noir on Criterion, Inferno. Inferno's okay. It's all right. It's about a man who gets trapped in the desert after his wife and her lover leave him. And apparently this was released in 3D. And I watched it. I'm like, why the fuck would this be in 3D? This is Fox. This was 20th Century Fox's first 3D movie.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, it sucked. I don't know. Rewatch because it was in Vacation Noir, and even though I've seen it before, I decided to watch it again. Lady from Shanghai, 1947, Orson Welles, like Lady from Shanghai. Like this whole movie, I like the movie, but it makes no sense. And the only reason this movie's considered a classic is because of the funhouse shit at the end. Because what Orson Welles is doing in the funhouse is next level shit. Even I watched that today. I'm like, how'd you do this?
Right.
It's like watching Citizen Kane, where you're just like, dog, how'd you do this? Have you ever seen Lady from Shanghai?
No, but I've seen that scene.
Yeah, so yeah. So, all right. Also on Vacation Noir, I watched Dangerous Crossing, 1953's Dangerous Crossing, and this is the final. I finished Vacation Noir, the whole channel. This is the first time I ever finished a Criterion Channel.
Congratulations.
Yeah, this is okay. It's a mistaken identity movie, and where everybody thinks this lady's going crazy because her husband just mysteriously vanishes when they're on their honeymoon on a boat. And you've seen this a million times before, that premise and shit like that. You know there's more towards the story.
Right.
So when you get to the end and the resolution, you find out what's really going on. I'm just like,
of course.
Because it was leaving the Criterion Channel at the end of the month, I watched 2007's Todd Haynes movie, because I'm a sucker for Todd Haynes. I'm Not There. I think I would have liked this much better if I was a Bob Dylan fan, because most of this just went over my head. I'll be real with you.
I think I watched half of it.
Yeah, man. I like the experimental style a lot. I really do. But like this is pretty much for Bob Dylan fans, because I had no idea what was going on half the time. I'm like, yeah, this is all deep cut Bob Dylan shit.
Well, I mean, sometimes you do have to make shit for the fans,
Yeah. And I get it, because at the time this was the only way like Bob would let his story be told, because he didn't want like a movie about him. And Todd Haynes is like, well, I don't really want to make a story about your life. I want to make a story, fictional characters based off different time periods in your life. And I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, all right, sure. You tried. Some people like it.
Hearing mixed things about the James Mangold Bob Dylan movie. They started test screening it.
The one with Timmy?
Yeah, they're apparently doing reshoots very soon.
I mean, it's a music biopic. I mean, what do they expect? Like, sorry.
All right, and the final thing I'm going to talk about, this is also leaving the Criterion Channel, 1996. I didn't even know Mike Nichols directed this, and Elaine May wrote this. 1996 is The Birdcage.
Really?
Yeah, Mike Nichols. I was like, damn, Mike Nichols and Elaine May. I was just like, whoa. I was like, okay.
Okay.
I know it's a remake of Les Folies d'Or. It's a French movie, and I think I saw that like a minute ago. I gotta re-see it, but like as is, it's fine. It's a fine movie. Like this is definitely a movie from the 90s. I'll say that much, because it has all the 90s stereotypes about gay people and conservatives. Because Gene Hackman's playing the conservative senator, and I was just like, man, you're getting the best of all stereotypes, like the waspy conservative white people and the out and proud gay people, like every stereotype. It's so over the top, but you got to give it up for having a positive message about gay people in 1996.
Right. Honestly, like it was progressive for that time period.
Right. Yeah. Look, I'm not mad at it. Like I look. Even in an okay movie like this, Robin Williams is still amazing. Gene Hackman's still amazing. Young Callista Flockhart,
Okay. I forgot about her.
Nathan Lane. I understand why he is who he is. Like, I'm never not mad at seeing Nathan Lane. I just think this is a minor footnote in both filmographies for Mike Nichols and Elaine May. Like they've both done better stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like the fact that it's surprising to find out that he did it. Like they don't even like put it at the forefront. It's like,
Yeah, like because she wrote this and he directed this, and I'm just like, oh wow, okay. I was just like, yo, listen, if you had told me this is from the director of The Graduate, I would have been like, wait, what? You know what I'm saying? So like, all right, let's move into trailer talk.
Roll camera and action!
It's time for some trailer talk.
All right, so let's get into. Have you seen the trailer for The Lord of the Rings: The War of the Rohirrim?
Nope.
Yeah, dog, this shit looks fire. I ain't even gonna lie. They did an anime movie for a Lord of the Rings prequel, and I fuck with it.
I mean, honestly, like something like that, animation, I get it. Right? Instead of spending a couple of $1 billion on a live action show, give us a cartoon.
My only complaint, like this is a true anime, like that's my only complaint. Like they commissioned like a whole famous Japanese company who's known for doing like high budget anime.
Right.
My only problem is it looks like an English language dub, and I hate that shit. And I'm like, okay, I hope there's a Japanese dub that they put out in theaters with subtitles, because that shit's distracting. Like that's the one thing I'll give My Adventures with Superman is like that is an anime for the English world because the English matches the characters' mouths, right? This, because it's made by Chinese, excuse me, not Chinese. I'm sorry.
Japanese.
Yeah, Japanese. I'm sorry for that. Because they're made by a Japanese company and this big Japanese anime studio, they clearly animated for Japanese dialect. Clearly.
Yeah. And here's the thing. It who paid for it? It's Amazon that paid for it, right? Or MGM now?
This is a dub. Warner Brothers owns the theatrical rights for Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
And now I think they got back the television rights for Lord of the Rings. So like any more TV projects from Lord of the Rings will probably be on Max.
Okay.
I don't know how they didn't have the TV rights for Lord of the Rings, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, this looks cool. Like they got an all-star cast for it. Like includes Brian Cox and a few other people I can't remember off the top of my head. But like, yeah, this Christmas, we got a fucking lot coming out, man. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's gonna beat KRAVEN the Hunter though.
Yo, that is the movie. Out of every movie coming out, I'm like, oh, that's the movie where I'm like, oh man, y'all fucked, dog. Because I'm gonna get into the next trailer, the one that I watched 3 times in a row, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. They didn't have to go this hard, man. Like, yo, y'all went too hard. I don't know shit about Shadow because Shadow was after my time.
Right.
Watching this trailer, I'm like, oh, y'all are fucked. Like, as soon they work for the military now, so like they get to live with Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails. They get to live with James Marsden and Tika Sumpter as long as they do missions for alien threats. So they get called in to check out an alien threat in Japan, and it ends up being Shadow because Shadow was a government weapon that got set loose. And they're like, oh, there's another alien hedgehog. Cool. Dude, we don't want to fight. And then Knuckles is like, no, I want to fight. Knuckles goes to throw a punch. Shadow sees that shit in slow motion, grabs his hand, and snaps his wrist. And you hear it snap. And I'm like, bro, that's a kid's movie.
Yo.
Fucking, he beats the shit out of all 3 of these little niggas, bro. I was like, damn, like, yo, not only is Shadow faster than both Sonic and Knuckles, he can teleport.
Oh.
Because he's infused with a Chaos Emerald.
All right.
So now they gotta enlist Robotnik to help them defeat Shadow.
It's a team up movie. Yeah. I love that shit.
Yeah, this trailer is hard as fuck. I was like, yes, and Jim Carrey looks like he is in it. I was like, okay, so whenever he's only gonna make Sonic movies, everything else he's done with. And you know what? Right. I'm fine with that. Yeah.
That's fine.
One of the things though that happens is like the only reason Robotnik will agree to help Sonic is if he gives him one of his quills. He does, and now everybody's thinking that Sonic 4 is going to be them versus Metal Sonic because Robotnik builds Metal Sonic.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. I was never invested in the Sonic movies until I watched the second one, and then I went through and watched the first one. I liked Knuckles. Like I liked the show. Right?
I love the first movie. The second movie's pretty good, and I just hate Knuckles.
That's fine. I get it. I really dug it. But like now I'm invested in this fucking Sonic verse.
Yo, because this shit, I was just like, yo, y'all went fucking hard. I was like, if I'm excited to see this shit, I feel bad for everything coming out at Christmas because I'm like, now that this trailer dropped, I'm like, oh, this is gonna kill the Lion King. It also has to go up against now. Like I'm like, Craven's done. Like they need to move Nosferatu to a better date because I'm like, yo, it's not gonna compete against Lion King and Sonic.
Yeah.
Two of the biggest and then you got the Lord of the Rings animated film. So like people have options for the whole family. 3 different options for the whole family.
Right. And like it's family time. Like unfortunately, like anything that you can take your kid to and shut them up for 2 hours, that's getting the money.
Right, because you always get a big Hollywood blockbuster at Christmas, and they're usually like something everybody's into. Because Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, right? Aquaman made $1 billion. You know what I mean? Wonka, right? Movies that everybody wants to see for different reasons. Like the only 4 quadrant movies, like Sonic, this Lord of the Rings animated film, and then Lion King. I'm looking at everything else, and I'm just like, guys, y'all gotta like. I said this when they first put it out. Like, do not put Nosferatu out at Christmas. And now that the Sonic trailer's out, I'm like, yeah, guys, please move this fucking movie.
Put it in October.
Because Lion King is getting the IMAX screens, and then Sonic claimed all the Dolby screens. And I'm just like, watching this Sonic trailer, I'm like, I don't know, man. Maybe Sonic should get the IMAX screens, quite honestly. And I like the only reason I want to see Lion King is for Barry Jenkins. Otherwise, I'd be like, oh yeah, that shit could get out of here.
Because I haven't seen the first live action one.
Yeah, exactly. So like, Sonic is going to clean up, baby. Like Jeff, watch that fucking trailer. You're gonna watch it, and you'll be like, you.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, yo, yeah. There's 2 movies in a row where Sonic gets body slammed into the ground into a fucking crater. Oh man. And I guess let's talk about the trailer you watched. Go ahead, bro.
We were talking about Kraven.
Yeah.
I mean, it made no fucking sense. The rhino's in it.
Shouldn't they saved him for Spider-Man? Like, get him right since they're finally doing comics accurate shit.
But why? Why do things the right way? It just had a whole bunch of more footage. It was like it was the R-rated trailer, so there's blood and shit like that. Look, this movie is going to be ridiculously bad.
If I was a 15-year-old boy and I wanted to see an R-rated movie at Christmas.
Yeah, sure. Kraven. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no. It'd be Nosferatu still.
I mean, if you were a 15-year-old boy, these knuckleheads we got rolling around on these streets now, and they're probably going to watch Kraven the Hunter do some superhero shit with a shotgun.
I think they're also severely overestimating the appeal of these Spider-Man characters because, like, Venom is a hit because it's fucking Venom. Like, everybody and their mom knows Venom. Madam Web was bricked. Morbius bricked.
Yeah, so what made you think that Kraven the Hunter was going to be the thing that got you out of your slump?
Yeah, man, because Y'all motherfuckers, y'all got some competition this year, bro. Like,
It's like I get trying to keep the rights. Just do a fucking cartoon. Like,
you know, I'm rooting for every movie this Christmas to be good except for this motherfucker.
I'm not even rooting against it. I'm just like, it's like watching a train wreck in slow motion, right? You know it's not going to end well, and you wish you could just yell at the conductors like, just stop the train, but he can't hear you because he's on meth and listening Limp Bizkit, and this is how tragedies happen.
Keep rolling, rolling. That'd be funny if they play that over the credits. Keep rolling, 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 rolling. Yeah, keep rolling, rolling, rolling.
If they don't, I'll be bringing a boombox and I will be playing that.
I'm going to personally make sure we get a press screening for that, just like Madam Web.
Yeah, so we can all laugh in unison like we did the last one. Because our press screening, we never talked about this. Our press screening for Madam Web, everybody was.
Oh yeah, we talked about this in the review. We were in a room. Listen, we weren't supposed to be in that screening. The only reason we were in that screening is because the one we were supposed to be in was full. So we were in the VIP. Every critic is a top, like, people from Variety and the Hollywood Reporter were in that motherfucker. That's the one we were in. Yeah. Not a single person was silent. Like, as soon as the shit started, everybody started howling with laughter. Howling.
I'm telling you, best unintentionally hilarious movie of the year.
Hell yeah! Like, yo, listen, I am ready for. Listen, I'm emailing Larissa. Be like, yo, listen, we need that. We need that Kraven. I need that Kraven, baby. I need that Kraven.
Oh shit!
Hell yeah! All right, let's move into our main review.
And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the Film Blurts feature film review.
We're going to start with fucking Borderlands, and let me tell you why I saw this movie. So, at my new job, we get finished early, so early that I have nobody to pick me up from the train station. So I got some time to kill. I had seen every movie. I went to an AMC in the heart of the Fashion District. It's an 8-screen theater, brand spanking new. This was the only motherfucking movie I hadn't seen. I was like, fuck, all right, fuck, I gotta go see, fuck. I was like, fuck. Theater was half full, and I was like, why is there so many people seeing this shit? This is just as bad as you heard it was. Like, it's so dull, so lifeless. Clearly trying to be Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 4. I've never played Borderlands. I'm definitely not going to play Borderlands after this shit.
Like, and I played a couple of Borderland games. I never finished them. Like, they were fun for the first couple of hours. After that, it's like, it's the same shit. Just level up, blah 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 blah. It was fine. Like, I was more into it for the character design and the humor. I don't know how you could.
That's the thing, though. Like, this is PG-13, and you could feel the movie struggle with its rating because they did not know how to write these characters' dialogue. Like, you could clearly see, oh, they're supposed to say shit here or fuck here or some sort of fucking nasty joke here. And you could just see the characters just struggle to deliver their lines. And I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe this should have just, seeing how much money you made, y'all might as well just made this R-rated. Like, even the action feels so sanitized. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Like, it's like made for TV action.
Yeah, yeah. And it doesn't help that it's funny because Ariana Greenblatt was in your favorite movie last year, and it's a movie I actually really love and I own it, Barbie. She's in Barbie. She was pretty decent in that. Fucking awful here. Like, she is terrible. I was just like, God damn. Kevin Hart's bland as the heroic villain. Cate Blanchett phoning it in. Jamie Lee Curtis actually putting in work, and I'm just like, yeah, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, Jamie Lee.
Yeah, like, no offense to you, Jamie Lee. You put in work for Halloween movies too. That you shouldn't have put in work for.
Yeah. And we've talked about this before. I had kept forgetting that this movie was coming out.
Yeah,
Every
it's you and
time someone would
everybody
mention-
else. Nigga, this shit was in like as soon as I saw it, it left theaters. Like the very next day, that shit was gone. I was just like, yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, like no commercials for it. When I went to a theater and I saw a poster for it, it's like, oh yeah, that's a movie that's coming out. And as soon as I walked past the poster, I would forget again.
Look, this is a bad movie. Like I'm not even gonna hold you. This fucking shit sucks. But it's not Argyle bad.
Okay, all right, sure.
But
all right.
it comes close. I'm gonna say that it comes close. But like I didn't leave out this motherfucker pissed off. Maybe because it was less than 2 hours, where Argyle was over 2 hours. Maybe that might be it. Maybe.
And we had expectations for Argyle.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. I had no expectations for this motherfucker. This was something I literally saw this to kill time, so I'm not on the street like a fucking homeless person.
Right. Get it. Yeah. Yeah. It hit streaming. Like I saw it hit streaming yesterday. I have no desire. Like I'm not giving it any money.
Yeah. Like this won't even be a cult classic because there's just cult classics have energy to it. Even bad, some movies have that are bad have energy to it. This has like no energy to it.
It felt like even from the trailer, it felt like a cash grab.
Yes. And I'm not surprised the movie turned out the way it did because you know who produced it? His production company's in front of it.
Who?
Avi.
Oh, well, yeah, of course. Yeah. Right.
And a rad production. That's what it says at the beginning of the movie, in a rad production. And then when the end credits come up, his name pops up. Produced by Avi Arad.
Yeah, that's 100%.
Par for the course.
Yeah. We shouldn't have expected anything better. Yeah. No one who was at the wheel.
I'll be real with you. I can't even. I don't even know what the plot of the movie is. Like I forgot it already. Like because they give you like in the first 2 minutes of the movie, there's so much given in the opening narration from Cate Blanchett that it you can't take it in. I was like, oh yeah, this is probably why Star Wars does a crawl. Like you know how Dune has the opening narration from Zendaya at the beginning of part 1, but she delivers it in a slow way with these images, these evocative images where you get the conflict and you get what's going on. Same with part 2 where Florence Pugh's given her journal entry over narration. You understand what's going on. Yeah, there's so much information being thrown at you from just a lifeless opening narration. I was just like, I caught maybe a fraction of that.
And you probably didn't need any of it. Didn't need any of it.
If you're supposed to set up the world, that is terrible way to set up the world.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, man.
Look, if someone gives it to me for free, I'm still not going to watch it. Sorry.
Let's see how much money this motherfucker made, because you know what the budget of this motherfucker was?
It had to be what, 80?
$120 million.
120.
And Jeff, how you tell me this cost 120, but fucking A Quiet Place day 1 cost 65. I was like, that don't make no sense, bro. That just doesn't make no sense.
Because people cared.
So the production was 120, and so far it's made, let's see, it's made 16 million here so far. Worldwide, it's only made 30. Yeah. Excuse me, I stand corrected. It made 15.4 here in the US, and then everywhere else it made 15.5. So the grand total is $30.9 million. So might as well say 31 million. It's only made $31 million worldwide on a $120 million budget, not including marketing.
A quarter of the budget. Like
That's colossal.
like half would be a failure, right? Fucking 75% would be a failure. Even making your budget back, no one's gonna be happy with. But like 30 million on 120, like people
Honestly,
have executed for less.
it makes The Crow look like a success, honestly. And that's only because The Crow cost half of that. The Crow cost 50 million. So like, even though that also bricked, I'm like, well,
Yes.
you know,
This-
it ain't in triple digits. It's in double
Right.
digits, not triple.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Eli Roth better be happy that Thanksgiving panned out. Because if it didn't, like, that nigga would be done.
But he should have been done, right?
Yeah. Yo, listen, that Zionist shit pissed me off. And then see Jennifer Jason Leigh join in on that. I'm just like, I'm disappointed in you, girl.
I'm staying out. They're staying out their politics because they're fucking up their own money.
Yeah, man. Yo, listen. I'm glad we're not the only ones who feel this way, because talking to more and more people, everybody, I always come to find out, like, yeah, nobody really likes him as a director.
Yeah, I mean, like, Cabin Fever was okay, right? Like,
yeah,
let's face it, Cabin Fever was all right. Hostel, it was shock, right?
That's his best movie, which is saying something,
right? Like, it was the shock of like, oh, it was gore porn,
right?
At a time where,
because
like,
it came out during Saul times,
right?
Hostel Part 2.
Wasn't there Hostel 3? Did he even do that?
He didn't do.
Right, and what else has he done?
Co-wrote and produced Man with the Iron Fist. Apparently he took that from RZA. House and the Clock in Its Walls. It's a wannabe Amblin movie. And then Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and Thanksgiving, it's good enough, right?
It's his best movie, and I think it's his best movie because he ain't write it.
Okay, fair.
And I will say this about House and the Clock in Its Walls. The only reason I saw that was because if you saw it in IMAX 3D for the opening weekend, you also got to see Thriller in IMAX 3D.
Okay, so like it was a.
So you know where I was going. I was going to see Thriller.
Right. Yeah. So
and it just happened to have an Eli Roth movie attached to it.
Just like how I watched Wing Commander in order to see the trailer for The Phantom Menace when it first came out.
Yeah. Oh damn, I forgot about that fucking movie.
Yeah. Good.
Yo, I watched that movie multiple times during a winter storm because that's when we had cable and my dad had a black box. So we used to get pay-per-view movies for free. I remember when I had the house alone. I knew, you know what channels I was going to.
I mean, they probably had an X in the title. Something about boys that play, maybe something with some spices.
Yo, if you have the wild illegal cable box, of course you can't leave a high schooler alone.
It's like you should, if you do that, laminate everything in your fucking house. Because everything's getting slimed.
Oh no, I'm not that nasty. I know how to clean up after myself. All right. Let's move on. What do you want to talk about next, Jeff?
Let's talk about The Crow.
The next Lionsgate joint. Like the only Lionsgate joint I'm excited to see is the movie they didn't even make. They're just putting it out, which is Megalopolis.
Yeah. So I did not expect anything from The Crow whatsoever. And we talked about it earlier. I wasn't a big fan of the original. So this one, like, lower than low expectations. This does not feel like a cash grab. Like, I'm going to start with the good shit. This feels like the people who made it really wanted to make something good, right? They just didn't.
I mean,
right.
Jeff, this has been in development ever since we became friends. Like we would talk about every fucking iteration
Yeah.
of this movie. Like, yo, I remember it came to a certain point where it got from week to week, we would cover different Crow news. Like it'd be like, oh, this actor joined next week. Oh, the director dropped out.
Right.
Oh, this new actor joined with a new director. Oh, the actor from the previous version dropped out. And now this actor also dropped out, but the director staying. Oh, we got these two new actors, but the director dropped out.
Yeah. So it's been musical chairs with this, and it finally got made. And like I said, I'm going to start with the good shit. It's beautifully shot. It is a gorgeous looking film.
Let me ask you real quick before you keep going.
Yeah.
Do you think this should have just been a sequel where it was just another Crow movie? Do you think it would have fared better that way? Because that's what the stink on this is like, yo, they're redoing the Crow when there's been other sequels and other comics with different Crows.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad at that, right? If it was a different Crow. The love, so the movie is super long, right? Or it feels super long.
Yeah, because I heard that the love story is a good portion of the movie, and then the shit that you came to see is like in the last 30 minutes.
Yeah, like the first hour and 20 minutes is the love story.
Yikes! I'm sorry, that's not what you go to see a Crow movie for. Sorry.
Right, and I get what they were trying to do. They were trying to make when fucking whatever her name's face, Shelly dies, you're supposed to feel that pain. But here's the thing: everyone's toxic in this fucking movie. They're not the best people, right? And whoever made this movie doesn't understand how anything works.
Bro, because they managed to, we don't know Shelly in the OG only through flashbacks, and they make that shit work.
Right. So in this, and there's a whole entire Satan bad guy subplot that kicks everything off. I don't want to get into that because it's just it's stupid. But
sounds stupid.
So Shelly is running from the demon dude's henchmen. Runs into some cops. Can't tell if it's on purpose or accidentally. All of her drugs fall out. And then next thing we know, she's in rehab. Right? But this is like the next day. So
was she drugged?
No, she wasn't drugged. So the main bad guy can speak into your ear and make you kill people, and then he takes your soul and sends it to hell so he can live forever.
That sounds fucking stupid.
That's a bingo. Right?
I just why can't, you know what? Why does everybody have some sort of motivation or some crazy power? Why can't people just be bad? Like, that's what made the Crow good, is like, yo, those motherfuckers were just bad, evil people. And sometimes that's all you need, is just a bad, evil person.
Right.
Like, the thing I keep bringing up is Menace to Society. Why is O-Dog the way he is? We don't know. He's just a bad, evil person.
Yeah. And that's fine. So then they have this 2-minute love affair in rehab. They escape rehab.
Wait, so rehab's a prison?
Rehab is a prison, but they escape it real easy.
No, you don't keep people hostage in rehab.
Man, look. I'm telling you, they don't know how shit works, right? And then everybody's making stupid decisions. So you're running from this dude who's trying to kill you. What's the first thing you do? You go back to the city that this dude runs, right? And just hanging around, partying, living life like he's not looking for you. Right?
Look, man, the only thing I know is I read the production history and I saw that they shot this in the Czech Republic, like almost every Lionsgate movie now. And I'm just like, yeah, okay.
Like I said, it's beautifully shot. It's well acted. FKA Twigs, I didn't realize she had a lisp. So it kind of fucked me up for the first 10 minutes, the lisp. And that's not her fault. I should do better.
I've only heard one song by her. I know a lot of people dig her music, and I can't speak on it because the only song I've heard by her is a song she did with ASAP Rocky called "Fuck Sleep," and that shit is hard.
If you put a gun to my head and say, name 3 FKA Twig songs or I'll shoot you, I'm getting shot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
But you should listen to "Fuck Sleep." That song's hard.
All right, I'm going to listen to Fuck Sleep. That's all I'm going to know about it. So, yeah. Everybody's making just stupid fucking moves. So then when he dies, and the dying is not nearly as tragic as it is in the first one.
Okay, yeah.
Right? Like in the OG, they fucking beat this bitch to death.
Yeah.
Raped her. She was alive for 3 days. They just put a plastic bag over both these motherfuckers' heads. And that's how they die. Right? So then he goes to Crowland and he meets Crow Sherpa.
Is the skeleton cowboy not in it?
No.
Did you Google skeleton?
Yeah, it's not. He's not in it unless this dude becomes a skeleton cowboy. I don't know, fuck. But it's just like the Crow Master.
That's the only reason to remake this shit is to put that nigga in.
Well, he's not in.
So then why bother?
Man, I don't know. So Crow Master gives him crow powers, and he goes back. But the thing is, he doesn't know how to use his crow powers, and he gets hurt. Right. So when he gets he gets shot, he feels the pain and shit like that. So then he goes back to Crow Master. And the Crow Master then gives him the black blood of the crow. And then he comes back after getting the black blood of the crow. And then he starts fucking shit up as an invincible killing machine. And there's this whole entire set piece in the opera house where he's just murking motherfuckers, which should have been the whole entire fucking movie. They should have made the whole entire movie like The Raid with the crow in this opera house. And then he eventually gets to the boss, and he sends the boss. I'm gonna ruin the movie for everybody. I don't fuck. Him and the boss go to Crow World. And the crow trades the demon dude's soul to get Shelly's life back. And
wait, so she's alive at the end of the movie?
Yes. And then the crow is stuck in Crow World with Crow Master. The end. Sorry if I ruined the movie for you, or if I saved you 2 hours. And there's some other dumb shit that happens. Lots of other dumb shit. But it doesn't seem like a cash grab. It doesn't. It feels like people who didn't know what they were doing tried to do it.
It sounds like they stole part of the one that was going to be with DMX, because the one with DMX, the villain was supposed to be played by Eminem. And in the climax of that movie, DMX would have lost the crow powers, and Eminem was going to gain them through an accidental blood transfusion. So it would have been like a depowered crow versus a superpowered villain. That's what that shit sounds like. Again, why we never make that fucking movie, I don't know. Because every time I hear more and more about DMX's The Crow movie, I'm like, man, y'all fucked up.
Yeah.
You could have had a whole tour behind that. Eminem and DMX on tour together for this movie.
They could have done a whole lot of shit. This movie, like I said, I went in expecting nothing. It literally was not bad, and not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
But it ain't good.
Okay. All right.
It ain't good.
Yeah, fucking.
Yeah. It ain't good.
All right. Well, at least this saga has come to an end. Because as long as we've known each other, we've been talking about this fucking movie, and now we never have to again.
Right. Unless
I manage to see it, because again, I got time to kill. Like,
Man, this is going. I swear to God, this is going to be on streaming in a week.
I mean, Y'all see how fast they pulled Borderlands?
Yeah. So.
Borderlands didn't even make it a full 3 weeks in theaters, dog. Like, then the shit made it 2 weeks. And it ain't like this is. I don't think this is gonna make it a full 3 weeks either, because Beetlejuice drops next Friday.
Yeah. So if you're gonna watch The Crow in a theater, I guess you got a week.
Oh man.
All right.
Well, all right. So let me get into a movie I keep forgetting to talk about. I was supposed to review this like 3 weeks ago. I'm gonna talk about a movie that a lot of people have been unfairly shitting on. M. Night Shyamalan's. Hey, I should call it as it's been billed, an M. Night Shyamalan experience. Trap. Look, it's an entertaining movie, and I loved it all the way until they left the arena. Because once they leave the arena, this shit gets dopey as fuck. Like, the last 20 minutes, it still works, but I mean, it's some real dopey shit, dog. And then the way the movie ends, I was like, oh, bro, we could have ended it then 20 minutes ago. I was like, the fuck, man?
So he did some real shot. Like Twist, he fucked up the ending like he always does. That's
like,
the twist.
I love the whole premise, like the whole reason why you love this movie is because Josh Hartnett is selling this dedicated family man and father. This dude's being a good father, but he's also a serial killer. And you're watching him squirm the whole time and try to figure out how's he going to get out of here. Because every time he figures out a way, it becomes a non-starter. He's like, fuck, okay, what about this? And then fuck. And it, for a huge arena that's filled with 32,000 people, you feel the claustrophobia of it. And you just feel bad because, like, his daughter's having a good time. And she's like, Dad, why you keep leaving? He's like, I'm sorry, I know, we're going to hang out. And you keep seeing him trying to leave and figure out a way to get him and his daughter out of here. He's like, all right, and what happens if I do get out of here? I got to get my family out of here and this and that. It's crazy to watch him squirm. So once they leave the arena, I was just like, and here's another reason why the movie gets dopey in the last 20 minutes. Okay? Suleika, she plays Suleika Night Shyamalan. That is M. Night's daughter. She plays a pop star named Lady Raven. And in this world, she's like one of the biggest pop stars on earth.
Sure.
Music's fine. You know what I mean? It's your pop R&B. And they play a lot of her music in the show. And I was like, yeah, this is not bad. Like, I get how people would love this. You know what I mean?
Right.
Problem is, she becomes a major driving force in those last 20 minutes, and it's just like, ooh boy, your acting is rough. And I will say this about M. Night. He is a good dad, because the only reason he made this movie was to highlight his daughter's music. And I was just like, you are a good dad for that, because you recognize, like, it's not your type of music, but it also should be bigger. Like, even if Suleika became a big pop star where the music she's making, I'd be like, yeah, fine, because Ariana Grande's out here making music, Camila Cabello, like all these like pop stars who make, you know, what
Movies
Destiny Child and TLC ran with, which is the pop R&B. So I'm not mad at it, but like her as an actress, I was just like, oh boy, this is rough. And then it just gets dopey. Like, as soon as they leave the arena, I was like, that's where you fucked up, bro. Like, movie should have been over when they got out. And I don't want to say how they get out, because the way they get out, I was just like, I'm pretty sure there's a different way you could have got out of this motherfucker, just because, like, he lied earlier, and I was like, oh, that's a good lie. Use that lie to get the fuck out of the arena. And the way he gets out, I was just like, why not just use the lie you established earlier?
Now I'm gonna have to watch this shit.
Like, I swear to God, this would have been a great movie if it just wasn't for the last 20 minutes.
But that's Shyamalan for you. Like,
Yeah, bro.
He always fucks up the ending.
And my problem with people in this movie, they're like, I don't believe the premise at all that they would set up a trap just for one guy. And I'm like, well, this is based on a true story where the FBI did this at a football game to catch 300 fugitives they were looking for, and it worked.
They do this shit all the time.
Yeah, like
yeah.
And then like there's another part where people like to be like, "Oh, I don't buy that at all." Where there's this drunk Asian girl and her friend, she's also Asian, is helping her, and she's like, "All right, stay right here." And she leaves her at the top of the stairs, and she's clearly drunk or fucked up off of some drug, and Josh Hartnett just moseys over and, pushes her down the stairs. Right. So it creates a distraction. Everybody's like, "I don't buy that no one would push her down the stairs." I'm like, do you guys understand how, like, I'm in Philadelphia and New York almost every fucking day of the week. Do y'all realize how much shit we see after the fact? Because we're all in our own little worlds.
Right, 100%.
Also, they're like, this is a daytime concert. Why would anybody be that fucked up at a Lakia show? I don't know. It's just like, do y'all not understand? You give anybody a reason to drink, they're gonna take it. Like, it don't matter if, like, I'm pretty sure people get fucked up at Lady Gaga and Britney Spears shows, dog.
I was at a jazz performance last week that started at 2 p.m. Motherfuckers showed up at 1 already sauced.
Yeah,
right?
man.
So like
it's called pre-gaming. Whenever you go into a big event and like nobody's gonna give a fuck, of course. I mean, come on, bro. That is 90% of concerts is people drunk or high.
Right.
Like when I saw Prince, more than half of those motherfuckers were drunk.
Yeah, so stop nitpicking.
Nitpicking, yeah, man. I was just like, yo, everything in this motherfucker was believable till that last 20 minutes.
Right? Like, just say you didn't like the movie. Don't try to justify the fact that you're a hater. Right?
Yeah, I was just like, y'all are stupid. I was like, you're really using that fact. Like, come on, man. Yeah, people get away with shit in crowded rooms all the time. Like, there's a whole Law and Order episode based on a true story where a chick got raped on the subway in front of everybody.
100%. Like, people, like, mind your own, like, you see all the signs everywhere. If you see something, say something. They put those up because people fucking don't snitch. They don't concentrate on anything but what they're doing.
And, they're also not trying to be the next victim. That's right. A lot of it, too.
Yeah. So stop.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like, yeah. I was just like, dog, also, this is a fucking movie, man. This is not real life. This is a fucking movie. How many times has that happened where somebody gets pushed down the stairs in a crowded place in a movie? Right. That is movie writing 101.
Just say you don't like the movie. Just say it.
Right.
Don't try to be smart about it. Don't try to justify it.
It's that fucking cinema sin shit, dog.
It's just like, just say you didn't like the movie. That's fine.
So yeah, that's Trap. Like I saw it twice, and look, again, I love the movie until those last 20 minutes, and it still works for me, but it's just dopey.
Right.
And the way it ends, I was like, dog, we could have ended it 20 minutes ago. So that's Trap.
All right. That's fair.
All right. Let's move on. We'll talk about Strange Darling, and then I'll talk about Blink Twice.
All right. Strange Darling may be one of my favorite movies of the year, and it is definitely the best horror film or thriller of the year. You can't say too much about it, right?
I thought it was okay. The thing is like, you could see I saw its hand early, and there's some themes in this that made me like, ugh, I don't know about that, but I get why you love it, and because like your boy is Tarantino, and this is a very Tarantino movie.
I saw the, like you said, I saw that coming, but I wanted to see how they were going to make it work.
Okay, right,
yeah. But the fact that it's shot on 35 millimeter film and it's sexy as shit. The acting is great.
This is Giovanni Ribisi's DP debut.
Yeah, and that's the only reason I went to see it was because Giovanni was the DP.
Same, and I heard how good it was. They're like, "Oh my god, it's so good!" And I sat there, and by the end of it, I got to the end of it, I was like, "It's fine." I get why people love it, but for me, I was like, "It's fine."
That's fine. It's much better than Longlegs. To me.
Yeah, it did because it had the same type of vibes and style, and I was like, yeah.
It's much better than Longlegs, and it kept me interested. It was, it was fucking sexy. It was brutal. It was weird. I fucking loved this film, but I don't want to give too much away. But yeah, I like if you liked Longlegs, then I think you're really gonna like this film, honestly.
Right. All right. Well, yeah. Look. It's fine. Like I'm trying to think of horror films this year. I don't think I really was blown away by one. I've enjoyed a lot. Like I like Cuckoo. I enjoyed that. But would also like to say, because I know a lot of you've been asking why haven't we done more indie films? Because by this time we've talked about a lot of indie films. I personally was waiting for Dee Dee and Sing Sing to get wide releases, and they never did. So that's just the name of the game now. I guess a lot of indie movies aren't just going to go wide. So be lucky that we got to see this.
Yeah, like I mean,
which is a shame,
right? Because if we don't get a screening, we actually go out and see these movies on our own dime.
Well, we don't pay for that shit.
Yeah, well, you know what I'm talking
about. Yeah, right.
Yeah, right,
but
right.
And that's why I skipped the screenings, because I opted to work for Dee Dee and Sing Sing. And if I knew that they weren't going to get wide releases, I would have went.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I mean they're going to be hitting on demand any day now. And then we'll get a review.
I'll just wait for the screeners at this point, because we're rolling right in the screener season. That's another thing I get burnt out on, is all these screeners that get sent my way, and I'm like, oh fuck, all right. All right, so let's get into our final review, which is going to be Zoe Kravitz's directorial debut, Blink Twice. And I just want to say, she clearly knows movies. This is made by somebody who has studied cinema and knows it in and out. Like it's a solid debut. Very entertaining. Do I think it works fully? Not really, because I got a problem with the ending, even though it's an ending that had a lot of people laughing and clapping. There's just certain things where I'm just like, but again, there's stories like this where, like, because I saw this and Strange Darling back to back, and they both deal with like elements of sexual violence. This one much more so than Strange Darling, and I was just like, yeah, this is why you kind of get women to write and tell these type of stories. Seeing them back to back, I was like, yeah. This probably has Channing Tatum's best performance, quite honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, but just be warned, some of those scenes in this movie are harsh, and I mean super harsh. Just a fair warning. Like even the movie itself has a trigger warning at the beginning.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah. But I'm very excited to see what Zoe Kravitz does with a better script. Like this is a very good debut. Like if we never heard of Zoe Kravitz before, we'd all be like, who the fuck made this movie? What the fuck?
Right.
But it's solid. It really is solid.
Okay. All right.
And she used every favor she had, because like this cast is stacked. Naomi Aki's the main character. Alia Shawkat's her best friend. Adriana Arjona's in this. Haley Joel Osment's in this. Kyle MacLachlan's in this. Christian Slater's in this. Gina Davis is in this.
Okay.
Yeah, the cast is stacked. Simon Rex is in this.
All right.
Yeah. Like I'll say, it's worth checking out.
Yeah, I'll check it out. It's still in the theaters, so.
Yeah. Blink Twice. Like it's a nice little debut feature. Cost $20 million, and they use that 20. This movie should not look better than fucking a movie that cost 120.
And yet it does.
Oh man. All right, and that's episode 131. See y'all niggas for Beetlejuice.
We're the Film Blurs. I'm Brandon Norwood, and I'm the motherfucking protagonist.
I'm the protagonist.
I'm Jeff Stewart, aka He Who Remains.
Don't come at us. It's just fucking movies.
You've been listening to the Film Blurs podcast.
Man, I just love what you guys do, man.
I never miss an episode. It's the best.
It's my favorite podcast.
Follow Jeff on IG on MindFireXL and Brandon on Twitter at BJN Tweets.